Good afternoon, friends, fans, and fam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is going down? How are we? What's everyone been up to? Any news? Any gossip? I know it's been a minute, huh? Well, the poor little one has been pretty unwell. Not in pain or anything, but just not a happy camper, unfortunately. She's had this hand, foot, and mouth condition, which basically left her sore mouth, sore throat, couldn't eat and drink much for a few days, and then that sort of made her uncomfortable, and anyway, she's can't go back to daycare yet, so she's been off sick, hence not being online. Having to, look after her, which honestly, it's not a bad job. I quite like it. I definitely choose it over hanging out and playing video games any day of the week. But I do miss you guys. I'm glad to be here today while she's with Grandma. They are out and about. I think she's at Grandma's house in the buggy having a nap at the moment. Mom's at work. So, we're here. We're going to hang out. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to train that new recruit, Stannard. Deputy Marshal Delphine Stannard. So, off to Saint Denis I go to get underway. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Over the fence we go. Also, yeah, new thing from Twitch. Subscribe and you can earn Crunchyroll membership. For those of you that are into such things, that's kind of cool. Bunch of cool stuff on there. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Also, not to be biased or anything, but I would love it if you can subscribe. Then I can buy nice things for the baby. Turts, what's up, my friend? Hello, hello. Alright, that's a lot of telegrams to catch up on. 8 telegrams, alright. You're very welcome, Bill. Don't be a stranger now. See you soon. 19688. Okay, 19688. PO 19688. Lucky Bill. 2. Gail, howdy. How are you, my friend? Ooh, is it chilly where you are, is it? Hey, hey. What's up, Bash? Oh my god, I just realized I replied to a telegram from you, from Evie, from like a week ago. 5 days. Yo, what the heck? Thank you so much, dude. Welcome to the Endless Horde once again. I'm glad you resubscribed, because honestly the only way to leave the Horde is leave your hands. Sorry, don't care if you come in with hands, you don't get to leave with them as well. You're right. At least I replied. I'm a good person. Bang.
Hello.
Howdy. Yellow fugitives. Hello, fugitives. Rude. Watch out, puppy. What are you up to, Bash? Why aren't you in the RPs? "29 degrees, but now it's been cold for days," says Gail up in Canada. What the heck? What is up with that? How do you go from 29 degrees back to cold? That's fair. I can see how RP would make you tired. Just all that sitting around in Thieves Land and chatting away. All those snoozy, filthy criminals yapping away. Just drifting off to sleep. "107? Oh my gosh. How far can we get this streak? That's ridiculous, Turtle. I feel like you turn up to stream more than I do at this rate. And I love it. I'm here for it. +300. That's amazing. Rude and untrue. Lies, lies, and more lies, huh? Okay. Listen, if you say it's untrue, it's untrue. I would never know. Bill's not that boring, I'm sure. Just some teaser weather, teasing that there's summer. Hey, go save a life. Go and save a life and try not to get in too much trouble. I know Wild doesn't exactly have a moratorium on not attacking medics, so good luck. Why, what happened? Did you have a hot day? Was the weathering? What the fuck? Where is this fucker? In Valentine? Jesus. Alright, marking that down for later. .5'11", average, and black hair. Okay. 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 Nine 5385. Jesus! May 8th to May 9th. And they've done this much damage. Just trying to see if this lines up to any reported coach robberies. No, it doesn't. Okay, okay. It's not a coach robbery we have on file, so we haven't found this coach robbery as far as I can tell. We have been watching Totoro, My Neighbor Totoro, Tonari no Totoro on repeat in this house. The toddler is obsessed with it. Which is hella cute. But is starting to make me slightly insane. You are an adult. What are you doing watching the same thing over and over again? What excuse or reason could you possibly have for that? How is it funny when you know the joke already? You know what's coming. Like, it's adorable when my toddler, who can barely talk and doesn't give you full sentences, gets excited because she knows Totoro is about to appear at the bus stop and then the cat bus is coming.
A stranger came round preaching again, but at night, he was drinking and chasing gals too. Not the first time. How are you? I thought it would be the last.
Hello, sir.
Putting up all my posters.
Seen a few more foreigners around town.
Edward, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but hi, welcome. Oh, that's a good question. What does it say when you join the chat? I don't know, because it's my chat. Sure. I get incredibly frustrated, Bash, anytime I have to watch a show more than once. My brain just fritzes. I'm getting a hang of it. I'm getting used to it with Totoro now. I can just kind of accept it and tune it out. And
Howdy, friend.
but I don't watch things twice, generally speaking. Ever.
So how is everything?
They hung that fella who stole a bag of flour.
Just doing the rounds, checking. Checking how my office is going. Country Bob. Buddy. I know. It's so fun. I guess you could call it a mod. This is the Red M multiplayer Red Dead roleplay mod. Exactly, Ed. Exactly. Just like that. Oh, why'd you go backwards? Oh, there sure are, my friend. There sure are. Old men getting that interesting hot take, Edward. Interesting hot take. Dude's still just chilling in Valentine. What the hell? Alright, chat. Alright. Okay, I am gonna mark up getting to Mercer. Fort Mercer, just outside. Yep, I loot. Which way are we gonna end up going? Good, we're not going through Armadillo. We're not going through Thieves. We'll go near Blackwater. We might adjust the maneuver slightly as we get closer, but we'll see. Nah, should be fine.
Getting lost in the park, are we?
Howdy. Oh, just letting Finley have a little run around without running too many people over.
That's fair.
How goes?
Not too bad.
Okay.
Yourself?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Anything happened in the last week? Anything exciting? Anything interesting? Any questions?
Not particularly, not that I've seen myself. I've definitely seen things that have been picked up by others, and I've been making my way around to a few of the offices to read over a few of the case files that have come in, but
Okay.
outside of that, no, nothing particularly exciting, I would say.
All right.
Unless you call a man being kidnapped and forced to fight an alligator, apparently.
That would be Mr. P, I believe.
I didn't realise that everyone took the alligator thing so seriously.
What do you know about that?
Not a lot, only of what I've seen in case files.
Okay.
I
Any
actually
idea
had no
where
idea.
where they grabbed
Actually, I
him?
No idea until I heard, what was it? I believe there was a fellow down in Blackwater talking about it near the store or something like that.
Okay, that's Mr. P's town, I think, still. But all right. Any idea where he got caught up? Like where they found him and dragged him in?
Not a clue, unfortunately.
We have a case file here in Des Moines, as you would have seen, because this is where they dropped him off.
Hmm.
But if this isn't where they picked him up, it's not necessarily our case. So we're gonna have to try and figure out, maybe talk to Mr. P and figure out what happened, so we can figure out whose case it actually is.
I suppose if it originated somewhere else, does that mean it just defaults to those people? Or
Mm-hmm. Because technically a case, in terms of jurisdiction as well, is from wherever it begins.
Right.
So, say you're in Blackwater and somebody gets even, well, it kind of feeds into today's lesson, jumping ahead a little, but we're going to be talking over most of the laws and the sentencing guidelines for those laws. So I hope you've been studying your SOPs and your law books and things, because this is a fun one.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, before we get too into this, though, you doing your homework? You got anything to report?
You know, unfortunately, I feel like you lot spoiled the most exciting part of figuring out things about Hans last week at the Fall.
Well, there is that, yeah.
Which honestly was... I don't know whether it was shocking or almost expected. I'm not really
Well-
sure. The way everyone spoke about it made it seem so normal. When I thought about it a little more,
It's
I
not
was-
really, is it?
no, it wasn't really.
Mhm.
No, I mean, I wasn't really expecting on my, official inauguration day or whatever you want to call it. So I was going to receive the sparkling piece of information that everyone's boss is sleeping with New Hanover's boss.
Yeah.
But I suppose knowing what I know about the Stuart Langstons, it seems to be quite normal around here.
Either other marshals or criminals tends to be the outcome of most relationships, or criminals that then become marshals, or God knows what else. I don't know.
Right.
There are some stereotypes that will be followed, I guess you'd say. But, okay, did you get anything? What'd you get? You got some notes for me? What do you got?
About Hans,
Did you even see
didn't-
Hans? Have you found
I did not even
Hans?
see him the entire week. No, and it's
No,
funny because
that's
one of the first times that I found him, he was around Emerald Ranch.
Well, that is New
Which is-
Hanover, so that makes sense.
I'd like to think that he either stays close to there or around there, or just frequents the area because it seems to be smack bang in the middle of his region.
Mostly the middle of his region thing. I would also suggest it's, well, maybe you figure out why he's always at Emerald for, because you got to give me something here. You got to come up with some kind of news, even if you get the gossip from other people.
Well, I did go looking for his I don't know, his subordinates. I suppose you'd call them, and didn't really find
Posey
anyone.
and
So
Moss.
I didn't manage to find Posey all week, which is shocking. I think she's around a bit later than I am a lot of the time.
Maybe we have to ask
But,
the other Stuart Langston what he's done to her.
I'm sure we'd find out about it either way, whether they
Mhm.
wanted to stew or not.
That's true. That is the horrors.
Although, what else is there about to find out about Hans other than he's sleeping with the boss of everyone else? Is that
Well,
not like
that is the
penultimate piece of
question?
information
That
about
is a
him?
good piece of information, but maybe there's more. Maybe there's stuff I don't even know yet.
Oh.
That's what I want. I
don't
want you
really-
to bring
I feel
me.
like I don't want to believe that.
I want you to bring me things I don't know, so I can be shocked.
That feels essentially invasive to his privacy.
That's the entire point.
I feel like if it was anyone else other than
He
not necessarily my
that-
superior, but
Mhm.
a superior.
he regularly tasks his PDMs with getting anything they can about me. I know it. I've felt that interrogation. I just wanted
I
him to
would
feel
say
the
that he
same
does-
thing.
He does strike me as a very private person. Considering
Yeah,
the fact the
I didn't
first
say
two
it was
times
an
that I
easy
spoke to
job.
him, well, I wouldn't expect it to be, especially with the way that people speak about the man.
Mm-hmm.
But it does strike me
Possibly
as the sort of man
downright
that
dangerous.
wouldn't shock me in the slightest. But he does strike me as the sort of man that keeps to himself on most occasions.
I would
Perhaps
say
out
that's
of
probably true. Other than those
habit.
he brings in close briefly or for longer term.
I was going to say, perhaps it's out of habit, or maybe he feels necessity, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can only imagine what it's like having people ask you about what it's like to work a job like this. It's probably hardly a thing you can say on some days. And I can only imagine how frustrating that would be.
It's awful. Honestly. It can be rough. And also, shaking off the assumptions of others as well is tough.
Mm. I can't imagine what it would be like to work alongside someone I was married to. I feel like that would just...
Yeah, I don't know how the Langston Stewarts do it.
I think above all, I would just be worried about it affecting not only performance, but the way you mentally hold the job. I don't know a better way to say that, but
Mm-hmm.
I suppose the fact that you would, on some occasions, be thinking more about them than what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, well, that would be awkward, wouldn't it?
I can only imagine that the people who have decided to take on such an adventure, let's call it, are far better equipped than I would be, because I certainly wouldn't be.
There's a certain amount of compartmentalizing that comes with the job, I guess. And those whose relationships survive the job probably do that the best, I guess. And by the way, we're going to Fort Mercer today. That is our objective. We are gonna go on a little tour.
Exceptionally far out.
Yeah, indeed.
What's in Fort Mercer?
It is. So we got essentially 3 places where we work out of. SDPD is going to be your primary as a Lemoyne Marshal. Then we've got Lee Fort, or Fort Wallace, which is where you interviewed at and where we toured in day 1. And then out in New Austin, as a bastion against all that lawlessness, we have a fort called Mercer. Some would call it the better fort. I would say they are delusional and they've got too much sand in their ears. But that's okay, you know, they're welcome to opinions even if they're wrong.
I'm sure the sand would make them delusional.
It really does, honestly. It's why the New Austin Marshals are just a bit off most of the time. That's alright, we love them anyway. And they get damn good work out there done. Sometimes.
Why do I feel like you said that out of obligation rather than want?
Well, no, I'm alright with him now that Langston's out there. He's whipping them back into shape. Though I don't know if he'll have any luck getting them into a proper dress code.
So
I
New Austin has had problems
swear
previously.
they turn up in their pajamas sometimes.
I don't think you could tell the difference, to be honest.
Exactly. No, they're different out there. You'll see. And I think they have to be able to do the job out there. You know, there's a lot of things we have the opportunity to take for granted here in Lemoyne, especially. You know, we've got ample access to food and water, for one. We've got city right there in Saint Denis where you can get damn near anything you can imagine. Sure, we got a lot of people. That means we got a lot of problems and a lot of crime. But we've also got a lot of people trying to be civilized and just live their lives. Whereas I feel out in New Austin, even the local civilians are a different kind of hardy, rugged bunch, just because it takes grit to survive out there. And those marshals, they gotta be the same. They gotta have that grit in them too, otherwise they're gonna dehydrate in the desert and never be seen again. Can't
have that.
Yeah, exactly. So I I'm sure it takes a different kind of marshaling in New Hanover and West Elizabeth. Someone that can relate to the livestock struggles that they get, and relate to the farmer, relate to the all of this, all of that. You get some city slicker marshal trying to muck in an Emerald Ranch and solve a crime of cattle rustling or something, and it's just gonna piss everybody off.
Mm. Right, so keep my nose out of crimes that
Yeah.
make no sense to me.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Anything that ain't in Lemoyne, pass it off to whichever state lead you think is most appropriate.
I did think that was a question I wanted to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you go about fully searching at places like the apartments when the doors are locked, but you think that there might be something going on?
Well, if you have reason to believe that there's something going on behind those locked doors, you come let me know, and we can make sure we've got enough to warrant going in and searching the place.
Right.
If it's an emergency, you can call anyone you know that might be able to help get you in there. If you've got, exigent circumstances or something.
Good to know.
But, I got a little bit of training in how to get them Haven apartment doors open if I have to, and I just gotta make sure it's warranted, otherwise, we could be charged with trespassing or something.
Of course.
But yeah, if you saw a trail of blood going on in there or something, that's what I would call exigent circumstances.
I noticed that they are a bit of a hotspot when it comes to
Yeah.
petty theft.
And if you look through our files too, down in SDPD, we've even got a case file specifically just to, if you come across something out of Haven Apartments that looks suspicious, but you ain't necessarily got a lead, you ain't got a positive identification of a suspect or anything, we just kind of collate a big bunch of that evidence in there until we've got enough to warrant a warrant, literally.
Right.
And then we make a separate case file just for that individual. But if it's just generic, you've noticed something weird, someone's talking about a break-in, unless they're talking about someone you know, like Richard Garland, for example, frequently talked about by the residents at Haven Apartments, you can just put the evidence in that big batch until we figure out who it is, or we get a suspect on our hands that we were like, well, hey, is this you? And see if they want to confess. And it's a tricky one, because generally misdemeanors, and this is directly related to today's lesson, our prerogative are dangerous and violent felonies. That's what we should be focused on. Obviously, we're not going to ignore anyone that needs our help, generally speaking. But things like misdemeanors or little disputes between people, that sort of thing, we should leave it to local law where and when possible. Obviously, it ain't always possible. Like a misdemeanor happens out at Emerald, Hans has to assign someone to get involved. And same for us. If things like that are happening in Saint Denis, we will have to investigate, and we will have to press charges eventually. But generally speaking, our priority are the dangerous and violent felons getting their warrants written and getting them behind bars. And like I said, when things are happening, if local law needs our help, we don't just ignore that unless we think there's a more dangerous and more pressing situation at hand. And the awkward thing that people don't always appreciate about doing this job is that sometimes we don't always get the luxury of, well, of necessarily worrying about all the hostages. Sometimes you've got to make sure that the person that's robbing that bank that's got 25 counts of murder on their head is brought to justice. You can't just let them ride off because they might hurt one more person. Because if you let them ride off, they might hurt 10 more people and 5 more of your colleagues. It's an awful thing, but it is the job. The focus is on the wanted fugitives.
Necessary evil.
Yeah. Local sheriffs and things, if the Rhodes Bank is being robbed, their priority isn't going to necessarily be to the bank. It's going to be get the hostages out alive, make sure no one gets hurt, and go get the thief and the money later on. And we can play that game as well. We got to be smart about things sometimes too. As we sort of talked about in your, was it your interview? Maybe someone asked the question, what do you do when you see a dangerous fugitive in the bar? But if you don't think you have ample opportunity and you have the advantage in taking that person in, it's okay to let them walk away. And go let them leave and rustle up some backup and go hunting them again later. It's not always... Yeah, go ahead.
I think for me particularly, it's more about whether or not I'm going to get myself into more strife by trying something rather than just letting it go.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last thing that I want to do is cause more issue or trouble when it could have been a far simpler set of circumstances.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. Sometimes, and that comes down to individuals' comfort levels as well. Sometimes it's worth pushing people a little bit to see what they'll do and see if they'll give you an excuse to drag them in if you know they've done bad things and they're a danger to other people.
I suppose you get to know each individual
Yeah, you
as
do.
as you go as well.
But sometimes there's valor in living and letting them go to fight another day. There's no point taking on a posse of 6 just because they got warrants and they're dangerous. If you don't think you got a chance of winning that fight, don't push it. You had a chance to read over the laws and things?
I've had a look at a few of them, most of the penal code and whatnot. So,
any questions on the penal code?
Not a lot of questions about it. Obviously, calculating things will be a different question when the time comes. But I feel like I have a lot of superficial questions about the difference between some charges, but I have a feeling that a lot of the answers really boil down to it's a case-by-case basis, and you sort of just need to go with your gut or talk to people around you to see what they think.
Well, give me an example of what you're thinking on.
Things like difference between, obviously the most obvious one is the difference between first, second, and third degree, both mayhem charges and murder charges. But the only thing I can think of is you would never know what degree a murder is until you're looking at the evidence in front of you. You actually have a situation that you can turn it over and actually pick it apart and figure out what side has more weight to it, I suppose. I suppose the question that I always come back to asking myself is, do I think I could defend this in court?
That is a good way to start off. Look at the evidence, look at what you think it could be, and do your best to build a case around what you think is defensible in court. Now, those specific ones you talked about, they're murder in the first and mayhem in the first compared to second degree or manslaughter. Well, that's actually another thing we're gonna get into a little bit, but the key there is the word forethought. And that means slightly different things to different people. Some people find forethought to mean someone literally was at home when they decided that they had to go and kill Farmer Bob. And then they left their house and did the deed. Because he'd been sleeping with the wife or whatever, you know. There was definite intent to kill him, and it wasn't just a heat of the moment call. It wasn't just an angry, passionate squeeze of the trigger. It was, to some degree or another, the plan of action was decided on and set about to execute. Now, I don't personally believe that that means that they literally were at home and wrote in their book, I'm gonna go and kill Farmer Bob now. But that degree of some level of decision making, you know, a coach robbery, say, where you come across 5 dead guards, but then you find the 6th guard tied up to a tree with a bullet in his head. Now that is more than likely 5 counts of second degree, because just because they was shooting at each other doesn't mean it was murder. But that fella tied to the tree, defenseless, and then shot in the head in that position, that was first degree murder there in my book. Now, did they go out and plan that ahead of time necessarily? No, but in the tying him to the tree and blatantly shooting him in the head at point blank range, they have intent, they have forethought enough to make sure he was defenseless, and they have executed said person. Now again, you'll get some judges that may, and rightly so, want you to go the extra mile to prove first degree over second degree. I've even written some warrants myself where I was arguing for first degree and got pushed back by a judge that in their opinion, the evidence didn't support first degree and they would only warrant a second degree charge. But it's important to sort of figure out where your line is, as well as someone that's got to collect evidence and write it all down and present it to a judge. But especially in a circumstance where, you know, 2 people might be shooting at each other and one of them happens to die, that's more than likely always going to get knocked down to a second degree.
Hard to sort of put any weight on forethought or...
Yeah, and that directly relates to when we can charge attempted murder as well. Now, I've seen some argue that, well, you pulled a gun, you know the risks of pulling a gun are that someone's going to die, so therefore you've thought about killing that person. But generally speaking, that ain't going to fly with most judges in these 5 states, so...
No.
When we're pushing something like attempted murder, the evidence has to be there to support the fact that if this person had died, it would be a first degree charge of murder.
Right.
And it's just by luck that they haven't died. And that we have the opportunity to charge attempted murder instead. It's a difficult one sometimes in some cases as well, because I would argue if you've got yourself a very large rifle, a very big scope on it, for example, and you choose to pull that trigger and execute a guard or a man driving a coach, then you have, you know they're gonna die. You know their chances of surviving that are very slim, and you don't care. You want them dead.
You would hope that the person on the other end of that gun knows that, but
But sometimes maybe they didn't intend to shoot him in the head. Maybe they intended to just wing him. Maybe they were just a bad shot and it turned into a headshot. Proving that forethought and that planning and intent is the difficulty. So in those cases, you're back down to second degree.
harboring a fugitive also strikes me as the sort of charge that will probably get tossed around a lot, or
It can be a
considered
useful
and thrown
one.
out, and
I like to think of
seems
harboring.
to cover a lot of things.
It does. I like to think of it as sort of a catch-all tool for charges that you can't quite shoehorn in, or sometimes you're not quite sure who did it as well. So again, say that case of execution of that guard tied to that tree, but you know there were 3 or 4 people involved in that robbery. It can be tricky to tell necessarily how many of them were necessarily involved in the murder itself. But if you know a particular outlaws using a particular weapon or a particular style, or you find footprints near the body, then you've got yourself a clear cut, this person's the murderer. They're getting the first degree charge. But rather than everyone else just getting like an aggravated assault or something on the other guards or on that person because they helped in the commission of that felony, or they helped whoever did commit the felony to then ride away from it and avoid justice, there you've got yourself harboring a fugitive charges. So say someone overhears the Stuart Langstons arguing about killing Hans. And Thomas Stuart Langston tells Posey Stuart Langston that she should do it. She has to do it. She has to kill Hans. And then, later, at some point in the not too distant future, Posey does kill Hans. What would you charge them?
Do we have irrefutable evidence that Posey did this?
We know Posey did it. We absolutely know Posey did it.
We have no evidence to place Thomas at the scene.
Not at the scene, nope.
And I specifically have overheard them talking about this.
You or another eyewitness, yep. It's someone that you know is not lying to you about it.
And they are a trustworthy person.
Mm-hmm. Someone that you know you could put before a judge, and a judge would say, yep, okay, I believe you.
I feel like it's still not enough. I feel like there'd need to be something else, some sort of other... Perhaps if Posey had mentioned something about Langston wanting her to do it, or there was some sort of... I don't think I'd take it just on the eyewitness.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it was something that was not expected, but perhaps if there was other reasoning as to why it would make sense. I just don't know if I'd take it on its own. It'd be very
Okay.
tempting to.
Say you've got enough evidence. Say you find that other shred. Let's swing through Blackwater. Say you got that other shred of evidence. And you know you could charge Posey with first-degree murder. And you've got enough to prove that Thomas was in on it. Or at least that Thomas was telling her to do it.
If he was telling her to do it, then
What can you charge Thomas with, in your opinion?
it feels too easy. Because it almost feels as though if he only, he stood next to her and said, you have to do it. It can't be me. You have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel enough like conspiring as to be part of it. It feels like coercion, but I don't know if coercion is enough to fit with the harbouring charge. Would coercion fall under anything else? Or is it really just that catch-all term, so it just really would fit in harbouring?
I would, in this example, I would say the closest we've got there is harboring. And the most sort of effective tool we've got is to charge Thomas with a harboring charge.
I feel like it would. I feel like the only situation where I wouldn't, or where it would be different, is if instead of an eyewitness saying that he was coercing her to do it, it would be an eyewitness saying that he was actively helping her plan it, saying this is where you'll be, this is where you're going to go, this is where you're going to go afterwards. If there was evidence suggesting that sort of thing, then I wouldn't even
did
think
he
twice.
paid her or anything like that?
Exactly. If he
Yeah.
paid her, if he promised payment afterwards, trails like that.
Mm-hmm. It would be an interesting test, though, to know, okay, but what if Posey hadn't killed Hans? What if Posey just beat up Hans? Is that still a charge on Thomas of harboring? Because that's not what he wanted to have happen.
I think if she injured him enough for it to be considered either aggravated assault or even attempted murder, I think yes, he would still charge him.
I would say yes on the attempted, but if it's only aggravated assault, like she just got angry, or even if it's possibly under some circumstances of second degree, because to say that to charge Langston Thomas with the harboring, you'd almost have to be charging Posey with an actual murder or attempted murder.
Right. And would that change if there had been money exchanged? As if he had paid for some sort of service, whether that be an outcome of death or an outcome of grievous bodily harm? Would that change anything?
Maybe. It might. It's hard to say, but I mean, not necessarily in need of... Whoa, fella, why you cry? Okay, easy. You don't necessarily have to exchange money to commission a crime.
No, but okay. So let's say instead of money, there was some sort of note, an agreement between the two of them that that's what was going to happen. Something that sort
if you
of
had some kind of
implied that they were
signed
working together.
document, sure. Or even if you had something that talked about just robbing Hans rather than him getting killed, that would work
Even if
as
it
well.
wasn't like a even if it wasn't like some sort of formalized contract, just something, a telegram between them saying,
Yeah.
so we're agreeing on doing this.
And that's something else you can do. You have the authority to apply for a search warrant.
I'm assuming that you would need quite a bit of evidence to do that.
Sometimes it's merely a case of having enough circumstantial evidence that you need to get the search warrant for the telegrams to finalize the case, essentially. So we had a case not long ago where we were suspicious that a fella had been seen acting as a lookout, essentially. By the way, welcome to the Blackwater Courthouse.
Thank you.
In here
Very nice of you.
is where cases are heard, where you'll be stationed in the event that you are pulling bailiff duty or guard duty for a prisoner that comes in to defend their charges.
Do they draw straws for that, or is there an agenda?
We generally make sure someone's volunteering for the extra hours. We got our library in here. Anytime you need to do some research, you can always come down here and make use of their books on the laws and whatnot. And then upstairs we got the judge's offices. I don't think anyone's here at the moment, but we can knock and see. Knock, knock. Anyone here today? Nope. Wrong door. I always get the door wrong. It's the middle one. Yeah, it's locked. Probably nobody in there, but let's take a look.
Unfortunate. I was going to say, do you have keys for this?
Oh, I thought I did, but I don't. That's interesting.
There you go.
Judges have changed. They haven't changed them in SD's courthouse. Big ass dining room. Another office. So, this is where you'll come, generally speaking, with Judge Atkinson, Judge
Right.
Truth Bader Hinsberg. She works out down here as well. And I think that's pretty much it. Van Zant works in Saint Denis. And the judge, Justice Rose Walsh, she works either Saint Denis or Valentine itself, where she owns the gun store.
Oh, I see.
If you need her help with anything. Then you've got the bank just over there, where the U.S. Marshals in West Elizabeth, sometimes they use the office upstairs of there.
Oh, didn't even know there was one.
And this building used to be where the AG's office is, but we don't have any attorney generals down here at the moment. However, there are still offices down here that you can use if you have need to interview suspects, or in certain circumstances we use the cell in here as well if we are say we've got a dangerous prisoner in the courthouse, but we don't want to bring them to the courthouse until the judges are ready to go. We can keep him in these cells. You don't imprison people here long term. This is just sort of a holding cell, essentially. There's nobody on duty down here.
It definitely doesn't look that way.
But if you say you had a transport that you needed to have happen, you could arrest somebody, bring him down to Blackwater, but you got, a prisoner in Blackwater already, and you can't put him in the same cell until you get your backup. You could bring him over here, I guess. And this is the office where some of the judges have does signing, and this is evidence lockup just over here.
Oh, okay. anything really go in here, or is it ordered specifically? Oh, they're labelled. I see. Wonderful.
And don't touch the battleship.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, it's volatile.
Good facilities.
Yeah, it's nice. It's cozy. And then over there you've got the Blackwater Police Department, which is another room you can use if you need it.
Who, do you know the Blackwater Law Department?
Yeah, Jasper Lane is the chief of police down here, though I haven't seen hide nor hair of him in a while, that little purple leprechaun.
Oh, what a nickname.
Yeah, I blame his former undersheriff in Strawberry for that.
Former undersheriff.
Well, yeah, since Jasper Lane moved down here to Blackwater, undersheriff is now the sheriff.
Right, I see. Didn't follow him over here.
No, as a matter of fact, he did not. They went their separate ways. I guess they realized that between the two of them, they could keep the order in two places rather than one of them being abandoned.
I suppose so.
Where in the hell are you going? Horse? Come on, Finley. Just follow the path. It ain't that hard, buddy. Okay, okay. You could just refuse, but I would rather you didn't.
You, I suppose, have been a trail horse.
Howdy.
Recognize them?
I think that was Frankie.
What do we know about Frankie?
Frankie is one of the, I would say kindred coyotes, but it's hard to tell. I know she's done a couple of jobs with them. I arrested her once, robbing a train, if that was her.
Oh, yes, I read this case file the other day.
Yeah, good times. She fucked up. She jumped off the train because the genius known as Jesse Sweet broke the train so it couldn't stop going in reverse.
Oh.
So everyone had to get off the train. But poor Frankie there knocked herself unconscious and dislocated her shoulder in jumping from said train.
Painful.
So she was making it slow going for Jesse, so in lieu of him being arrested, he decided to put her on the ground for me to treat and arrest, and he ran off into the hills.
See that loyalty runs thick.
Oh yeah. He also realized she actually might be dying because he has zero ability to tell these things. So the other thing in terms of our charging processes and what we charge when we charge is the recidivism clause. Did you read up on that a little?
I did.
Okay.
It seems to be another case by case basis sort of thing, but it mostly makes sense.
A little bit. It's a little more cut and dried than that. So recidivism is essentially if someone has actually been arrested more than... Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Essentially recidivism is when somebody's just refusing to turn their life around. They've been arrested more than 4 times with serious felony arrests, or they're facing 6 counts of the same thing in a single arrest. So how that changes things, if we look back at our earlier hypothetical situation where somebody's robbed a coach and they've killed 6 guards. If you forget that one of them was tied to a tree and executed, say he was just another guard shot in the same way and died, then even if this was the first time you have written up a warrant for this particular suspect, the fact you have 6 counts of second-degree murder is enough for you to consider charging them as recidivist on those 6 charges. So you would look at your times and fines, where if it was generally speaking the first arrest and they'd killed someone, second-degree charge, the most per person they've killed would be 30 days. But the fact they've killed 6 people in one attack gives you the ability to consider it a recidivist crime and charge them anywhere between 60 and 120 days on that first arrest.
Right.
You know, sometimes people kind of forget that that exists as a charge. And they would just push, you know, a maximum of 30 days per murder in that example. But when you've killed 6 people in one sort of robbery, say, you're a special kind of psychopath, or a special kind of stupid if you didn't realize that you were causing death.
You'd think.
But in my book, that warrants a little more than the minimum punishment, you know? Hey, realist, what's up? Talking GTA 6? Maybe when it gets here, I'll be excited. And then we also have a special thing called PTR, and that stands for pretrial release. It's essentially a form of bail while awaiting charges. So, when you arrest anyone with a warrant or in the act of a crime, you must offer them pretrial release. You must ask if they wish to contest these charges in the court of law. Essentially, do you want to plead guilty or not guilty? And if they want to plead not guilty, you can offer them pretrial release, where they only serve 15 days, which does mean you don't necessarily have to take them back to Sisika or anywhere. You can just put them in whatever local cell you have available for 15 days.
Right.
You don't give them any fines at that point in time. You release them on essentially their own recognizance. And in that, they are making a promise to appear before the court and contest their crimes, essentially. Get a lawyer, and then you or whoever wrote the warrant as a marshal, will go to court and convince the judges to their guilt in these crimes.
So this mantra is coming back in. I'm sure I really, really believe in my charges before I
Honestly,
go ahead.
yeah, it can happen. And so in that case, when you're making the case file at whichever fort or SDPD you make the case file at, then you will,
Is that your friend Frankie again?
I suspect so. I didn't get a good look before, but as I know Frankie's not actually wanted on anything, so good for them. Could be running around keeping the tail on us,
Perhaps.
thinking we're hunting Unlucky Bill or somebody.
I can only imagine that these people are sort of paranoid at all times.
Always. It's quite funny sometimes. And then again, so are most of us. Now, when someone takes pretrial release, you make a note of it in wherever you open the case file, so rather than essentially it becomes the heading of that case file, PTR.
Right.
And that lets, and I also recommend putting a note on their record as well that they're on PTR. Same when you're doing a, when you find somebody, you are allowed, if you believe they just don't have cash on them at the moment, but they do and will pay the fine upon release, you do have the authority to offer them a certain amount of days to pay their fine from release out of prison, essentially.
Right.
And so in both cases, PTR or if they got fines to pay, you put that on their record so that other marshals that might arrest them later on can see, oh, this person is currently out on PTR, therefore now that I've arrested them, I have to charge them for everything that they were previously pleading not guilty to. Because if you get caught committing a felony while on PTR, it violates your PTR essentially. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay.
Just ride through them.
Yeah,
Let's
good
ride.
luck.
Rude of them to be out at this hour of the day.
It's
They must be
very early.
starving.
Persistent.
Like I said, probably starving. Now, just because if they do accept PTR, you let them go. But they don't necessarily have to accept PTR. They can still contest their charges, though. They can still take it to court, even if they aren't going for PTR. They can say, no, put me away. But then decide they want to go to court later on and sign up for a judge.
So it doesn't completely exclude them from contesting their charges at some point down the line.
Nope. Just give me 1 second.
Do
to
many people
adjust
take
my-
PTR?
Richard Langston, not Richard Langston. Richard Garland has on occasion just to piss me off, I think.
Right.
He's never actually gone to court, though. He, generally speaking, can't help but commit crimes in between.
I see.
Give me 1 second. Just gonna adjust my saddle while we ride.
It's fine.
Sorry about that. I figured it out. There was a goddamn piece of hay itching under his saddle there, but we got that figured. Trouble was working a wheat farm. Anyway, what was I saying? PTR, yeah.
PTO.
Richard Garland's taken PTR a couple of times, but he's never actually made it to court. In fact, I don't know many people that have taken PTR and kept their noses clean long enough to go to court. Most of the people that have taken PTR on my watch have ended up committing more crimes, getting arrested, and essentially doubling the time and fine that they would have otherwise gone to prison for.
Good lord.
Because the thing about PTR is, if you violate PTR, not only do you serve the time you originally were meant to serve and pay the original fine, but because you've broken the court's trust, you get a charge called escaping custody, which, while only a minor felony, the consequences of escaping custody are the times and fines of whatever we were chasing you for at the time get doubled. So often when I'm writing out someone that said they want PTR, I will make sure I make a note for whoever arrests them next of what their charges, time and fine is, and what it's going to be if they violate it by breaking PTR and get charged with escaping custody.
When does escaping custody get tagged on? Do you have to have explicitly said to them that they're under arrest? Or...
Essentially, yeah. You need to make it inherently clear that you are detaining or arresting them for something.
Right.
If I am riding along and out of nowhere comes Richard Garland and I just say, "Hey Richard," and he takes off running and I don't ever catch up to him, that's not escaping custody because he was never detained. He was never told that he was under arrest, essentially.
Right.
Following the wrong road, Finley. But in a situation where it is inherently clear that you are there to detain the person and you say those magic words, even, that's why I like to get those magic words out of the way. Even, you know, people want to negotiate with you. They want to have a chat, you know. They want to plead their case.
They want to feel like they're in charge.
Yeah.
Like they're in control of the situation.
Yeah, and often they'll start talking and distract you from those magic words so that you can't then charge them with escaping custody when they run away.
Right.
But I like to get it out of the way in the beginning. I'll just say something like, "Listen, just so we're clear, we can talk about this, but I am detaining you, or I am arresting you for these crimes. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it, but we're going to talk about it at SDPD and get it all sorted out." And then if they choose to run, fight, or anything of that nature, they know that they were under arrest at that point in time, and therefore escaping custody applies. Occasionally, you've got a situation where you're literally just having a conversation with somebody and they run mid-conversation. And you know that you actually needed to arrest that person, but you didn't get the chance to say that you're under arrest. You've just been having a friendly chit-chat. Oh, god damn it. What is he doing? Is that your dinner?
Yours.
Aw,
Wonderful.
thanks for preparing something for us to eat.
No, just you. You're eating it raw. You don't
gonna say-
deserve cooked meat.
You're
Think
nasty.
I'll take a pass on
Why
that
are
one?
you nasty like that? See, this is why we're charging him with the harboring the fugitive. when Posey
Correct.
kills Hans.
Right, of course. How could I
Mhm.
forget?
I was here the whole time.
That's why it's only harboring a fugitive, not murder.
You see, in order to do that, you need conspiracy, and Posey hasn't planned a thing in her life.
Shit, he's got us there.
So I was right to be suspicious.
Looks like it. God damn it, he's right. Welcome to Fort Mercer. There's some dust, there's more dust, and guess what? Extra dust.
I'm sure Langston can tell us all the things about it that he loves.
Yeah.
You can move without hitting a soldier who would then turn around and shoot you for the crime.
You know what? That is actually good enough.
Yeah, but there are snakes that'll bite you on the foot.
I mean, if you're not stupid, you won't get bitten.
Okay, two things. First, Wallace has wolves
Yeah, that's true too.
inside the fort. Two, Wallace also has snakes that just have an anti-snake measure, which is stairs.
Anti-snake measure.
Wallace is full of
Mm-hmm.
Wallace will be more of an and also snake doesn't spook a horsehead and comes out of nowhere and bowls you away.
I can say, at least you'd see it coming.
Yeah, it's true. Well, welcome on the grand tour of the fort. I'll be honest, I don't
exciting.
get out here much, so things tend to... What are you doing out here? I don't have a lot that I like out here. The main attraction
You
being...
sound thrilled to be here.
I'm not. Langston's here. It's not thrilling to be here when Langston's here. Listen, we ship him out to the desert
bring
to
up
keep...
the notice wall. I can't believe you didn't.
The
What
what?
kind of tour is this? The
Okay,
notice wall.
what is the notice wall? The wall worth noticing?
If we put, well, generally it's been Bundy, and I can't think of anything worth putting up there right now. But that wall, we'll put like random shit up. Not important shit that goes on the blackboard inside, but I don't know, general, I don't know what you call it. Notices, warning.
Like,
Bundy put like bring water with you, or like sandstorm incoming, or that kind of shit.
okay,
See,
well,
I feel like
just
that would be
general-
classified as
nothing remind-
important.
I feel like...
Well, not like federally investigative important.
So that's
more
where
like-
you write that Rook has the clap because Echo Everhart says so?
Not particularly, but I feel like she's just annoyed that he said that she did.
So he started it.
More or less. Alright, this
Come
is
on
main
inside.
attraction. Here's the important blackboard.
Oh, of course.
We
And
get
Even
annoyed
things up
at-
there.
in that corner there, you got your telegrams.
Oh, which corner?
Over here.
Over here.
Oh, good to know.
Look, behind the desk.
Got your storage over here. Got anything interesting in your evidence lockup?
Do we have anything in our evidence lockup?
You do, actually.
What sort of things?
Huh, wait.
There's a shit
You know, I've got
ton of
something that should
ammunition.
probably go in there.
Oh, they're not labelled very nicely like the other ones.
Oh, did you actually get over your I don't have enough money and fork out the money to label them?
No, these
Sack
weren't
it.
even the ones in Saint-Denis. These were the ones in Blackwater.
Or Blackwater?
I labeled the
Oh,
ones in
that's
Saint Denis
drum.
as well, but it's expensive. It really was expensive. It was like $300 to label them all in the end.
Primary River.
Perhaps the force should consider cutting down on having excess weaponry to store. Cannot be,
Yeah, there is that.
melted down into something more useful. sold, perhaps?
You got
Here
your
are the
holding
general
cells.
cells.
Oh, very
Cozy.
open.
Can't trust anything out here. You gotta be able to keep an eye on them at all times.
Fair enough.
Where are your files, Langston?
Oh,
Just out
over
here?
Here. Yeah. Cabinet here.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought.
If you ever do jail here for whatever reason, you gotta fill out the same paperwork as you would on Sisika.
Sorry, the way you said, if you ever do jail here?
Yeah, if you have to jail, if you're jailing someone here.
Yeah, misinterpreted it. Ah, yes, that's what we do. We do jail.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have the keys to these cells, only the army does. They just give it to them and they'll put them in. I think.
Right.
I don't know if anyone's been jailed here in the last year, to be honest with you. Here is the nice cell.
I honestly
Have you-
just thought that was where Bundy put himself when he was trying to get away from Clover.
Marital problems.
He probably
It
did
really does
something
run-
stupid she was yelling at him for again.
It really does run deep, doesn't it?
If you me or Bundy usually will be in that room. There.
Mm-hmm.
We light the table. Upstairs you've got one bed. I think it's technically meant to be where Bundy's meant to sleep, or the SDM, I guess. But honestly, it looks more like a medical.
It really
used for
does.
medical a little more.
Huh.
It does look like a medical bay. I really wouldn't, I wouldn't live up here. Either way. Let's be real.
Oh, you got a nice little tinkering box up here.
There's explosives in that corner.
Yeah.
Are they
Okay.
explosives?
They're the ginger
Okay.
biscuits.
Oh,
A little less
you know
dangerous.
what? That's actually more dangerous.
They're what?
Do you know how many
Ginger
teeth I've
biscuits.
almost snapped on a ginger snap?
If you see a bullet hole, no, you don't.
Why?
I
What?
stand by my decision to not stay up here.
Why is there bullet holes? I thought this was the gentle fort.
Purely off the back of that comment.
I was seeing if we were safe, I'll be honest.
Good lord. Oh, and we've got an armory out here too.
Right.
It's over this way.
That's firing squad lane.
Yeah. I thought you just put them out in the desert and took pot shots.
No, you execute prisoners. So, putting them out in the desert, taking pot shots is what we do to new recruits.
Oh, wonderful. Good thing I didn't sign up for...
So
New
just
Austin.
like Fort Wallace, they got everything you need out here as well.
Don't think there's anything else I need at the moment, but I'm sure I'll be out here at some point and notice that I've forgotten something.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, as long as you got a little bit of gun and whatnot. Actually, I'm just gonna
Oh, so
polish
here's
while
the
I'm here.
explosives. Right. Of course. I knew they'd be somewhere.
There he is.
I told you I just had to clean the dust off this revolver. Oh, and we have a stable out the back here where you can...
What about the barracks?
The barracks?
Rosie's already given me a horse.
Yeah, the barracks.
I don't know, if it's anything like the Wallace barracks, you don't want to go there unless you have to spend the night in the desert.
What?
Listen, I don't sleep at Fort Wallace. I don't think I'd sleep here either if I... I actually didn't know this.
Sorry. Just. Apologies.
It's fine.
He's
Mm-hmm.
just getting to know you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you should have seen the horsefly on tie before we came in.
Yeah.
Massive.
That's his hair.
His hair looks like a horsefly.
That's just rude, Langston. That's just rude.
This is your barracks.
Well, that's the
I'm
living
guessing
room. This is the
This
barracks.
is the barracks.
This is your barracks.
Whose doll? Is that yours?
My barracks had been like this for 15 years. I think I would have quit.
I mean, this is very. This is still army. To be fair, these are the three parts of the fort. We are, what do you call it? King, Jester, and Executioner of.
Right.
Oh, there's my hat. I thought the fly flew away with it.
So, if those are bad barracks, I want to know. You've never seen bad barracks.
She's
No, I think the
English.
problem
They
here
probably
is
got
that
cushy barracks.
My barracks were what you probably call bougie.
Luxury.
My barracks had
Probably
access
had
to
running
bathrooms
water or
and-
something.
Yes, they did.
Oh, the plank.
Mm.
There
Oh,
was
yeah.
also the plank.
Yeah, there's you much of a fighter,
what?
Delphine?
No, not particularly.
Yeah, me neither. But those that like to think of themselves as fighters, they'll prove it on the plank.
Oh, is that what you call up there?
Mhm.
We'll walk around to it.
Right.
All right. Well, Mercer Stables, Criollos, and a painted mule, if you want it.
To know. Hosie's already given me a horse. I mentioned that I liked one of them the other day, and she was like, "It's yours now." So, it's mine now.
Well, you are also allowed a mule or a Criollo if you want to train one up, or get one trained up for you.
Why is it painted?
Because he couldn't get a zebra out here.
Yeah.
Of course.
It is weird.
Oh, it's so
Langston.
cute.
Makes sense.
Well, does it though?
For a mule? I
True.
don't think anything really makes sense when it comes to mules.
I hope someone burns your wheat field down.
It wouldn't be the first time. The last time that happened, it was Richard Garland, and he was kind of on fire himself at the time.
Is that you saying that it was worth it?
A little bit worth it. Considering he did it. If you ever arrest Richard Garland and you think he accidentally set something on fire, chances are you could still charge him with arson. He's done that so often.
Right.
I don't know if you're following me, but there's a crate of apples by the door, and that's it.
That's
the door.
that's the fort. Oh, you want to see the plank?
I was going to say, I thought you were showing me the plank.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, I thought you were just interested in the plane. I'm trying to think of something on the plank that isn't just a fight.
Everything out in New Austin
Anything?
is a complete and new mystery to me.
There's the plank.
So you make people fight each other up there.
Mhm.
We don't make people fight. Jesus.
They just
Bundy's
want
made
to.
people fight.
Okay, I won't dispute that point.
I'm going to say I've heard stranger things.
I won't make people fight, and I don't take pot shots at recruits mainly because I haven't had a recruit.
Are those things connected that you're not allowed to recruit because you might take pot shots at them?
Thank
No,
Christ.
actually, my training regimen was actually endorsed.
What's your training regimen?
Oh, I want to dump them out at sea of Coronado with without anything, and then tell them to get out of New Austin before some other friendly marshal helper catches up with them. Because you know,
Okay.
if you're gonna catch fugitive, that's not how to be a fugitive.
As I said,
Oh.
things in New Austin are just different.
You're not wrong.
Catch fugitives, be fugitives. It's alright, we can go back towards civilization now. The tour is officially concluded, I believe.
Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of time left to spend. So,
It's alright, we're pretty much done.
I need to remember where it is, but if you ever get the authorization to pull out a wagon, it is around here.
Just here, ain't it? Isn't it this part?
You probably
Yeah,
know.
right there.
good to know.
So, we've talked about pretty much all of it. We've covered over sentencing, PTR, fines. So fines are either paid at the time or a little bit after.
And you were mentioning that it's up to you how long they get, or
Well, it's up to your discretion how, or even if they get time after their sentence to pay their fine. If you
Right.
don't believe they will ever have any intention of paying, you don't have to give them the opportunity to do that, because we also have a conversion, essentially, where fines become extra prison time. So every $2 becomes 1 day of extra prison time.
I see.
Yes, Langston.
In terms of how much time you give them, generally, the average is about 72 hours, I think, because that
Yeah.
accounts for people just not being awake a day or two.
Yeah.
The most I've seen is a week. I wouldn't do more than a week
Nope.
because you're going to forget about it. I'll be honest.
And that's why we put it on the case file and on their record, because they can technically pay that fine to any marshal that they see.
Hmm.
And then that marshal can go and make a note that that has been paid on the record.
Right.
Alternatively, you can tell them to transfer it to you
Mm-hmm.
at whichever point.
In your
The
passport,
shortest
but
I've done
I haven't
is
ever done
24
that.
hours.
I've never done the transfer thing because I never collect bank checks, essentially. But if you're
See, I mean-
regularly clearing your paycheck, it's easy enough to claim it.
Well, you should check first before you claim it.
Yeah, you need to know it's there. Anyway. Of course, life sentencing, life and death sentencing is, yes.
Just before we move on, just quickly, when you get those fines, where do they go? Do they go into storage, or
Good
is there somewhere they're
question.
sent?
We collect the fines and we forward them to Passport 448.
Okay, perfect.
We never pocket it, we never keep it. We do that as soon as we possibly can. Because if
The
you
only
get
time
robbed,
we do keep it,
oh, go ahead.
the only time we do keep it, quote unquote, is if Richard Garland robs Otto of $50, let's say, and then
Mm-hmm.
we arrest him, and then you should account for that $50 in the. Usually we do in the fine amount, and then whatever money is. If Richard has, let's say we fine Richard $60, for charges, and then on top there's the 50 he took. You take the, if Richard is 75 on him, you take the 50 to be recouped to the victim. And then if he doesn't have the rest of it, you either give him the time to, or you convert it. But victim, if you're recouping funds to a victim, which should be included on the warrant, just for if anyone actually serves its sake, so they know what they're getting, you take back funds, or you recoup funds before you take fines.
Okay.
Yeah, if that makes
If that makes sense.
Mostly.
Essentially, if you have a direct ability to pay a victim back for something that was taken, cash or otherwise, say Otto got jewelry stolen and you find that Richard Garland has Otto's exact diamond ring or emerald in his pocket, you can return that to the victim. Or the $50 in cash that was stolen by taking that in fines, essentially.
Okay.
Now, life and death sentences, there are 2 cases where you could petition a judge in the warrant for a life sentence. Do you know what those 2 are?
It's a recidivism case.
Mm-hmm. Or
And it's an excessive amount of first-degree murder, isn't it?
any first-degree murder, technically.
That's right.
Any case where you believe it's warranted and a first-degree murder has been committed, or they have committed 6 acts of second-degree murder or more,
Right.
or anything particularly heinous, you could petition for a life sentence. That will be only granted if a judge signs off on it. So in the instance where you're petitioning for a life sentence, you should also have a figure in mind for what the actual time and fine could be, because sometimes a judge will say no.
Right. But always have both ready.
Yeah. Now, essentially, they get arrested. They can still take PTR unless you've asked the judge to decline PTR on that warrant for reasons that you think them having PTR would prove to be dangerous to you or someone else's health. However, if they don't take PTR, they can still go to court after being arrested and plead their case. They'll get an opportunity to apply for parole eventually as well. But again, that's on them taking it to court. Generally speaking, you will be the legal counsel for the prosecution in those cases. We have to be prepared to argue our own arrests in court if the time comes. In the past, we've been able to use a former U.S. Attorney, Douglas Ryan, but these days he is working to become a judge, so that's not necessarily an option to get his help on court cases.
So really just relying on yourself for the rest of the time.
Yeah, if people are wanting to argue their cases in court. That also reminds me, in the event you are charging for crimes against a peace officer or a judge, then the charges are always maximum time and fine. So law enforcement officers or judges. And there's some gray area around whether that counts in the event that, say, judge was attacked, but, the person actually wasn't intentionally attacking their business. As I told you, Rose Wall, she's got a gun store, but someone robbing her gun store isn't necessarily a crime against the peace officer. But somebody stealing my horse would be. Even if it was just a horse in a row of horses. And they just
If
kicked
it's a-
on the nearest one.
If it's a crime against a judge's person, then yes.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether they knew or not the person was a judge. This also accounts for deputies and sheriffs,
Yeah.
too. And general government employees, if we ever get, I don't know, Treasury out here, or
Yeah. IRS.
Dawson.
Yeah. Okay, but there's also, as a marshal, you do have the capacity to place a bounty on someone for questioning if you need to find a person. But generally speaking, individual marshals don't do that. That will be kind of a team effort thing. We'll talk about it, we'll figure out a plan, we'll put up a bounty, we'll make sure there are people around, posses hunting for the person. Because when you put a bounty up, you need to stay wherever you have put that bounty up so that you are there when someone brings that suspect in.
Right, of course.
And
There's
that-
no one in.
Yeah, exactly. And that bounty has to come down when you're done for the day.
Okay.
When we're especially relevant in Saint Denis, when we're arresting people for various things, like often locals will put out bounties on people and they'll say, oh, he's a murderer, he committed murder. Usually it's often just a case of aggravated assault. If you're looking at that bounty as being something over $500, maybe that was real. Maybe they really did kill that person. But if you're looking at a bounty for $50, even up to $100, chances are that was probably just aggravated assault. Unless they confess when you arrest them. You can always ask them what happened. Hey, it says here that you murdered somebody. Want to tell me about that? Got any reason why it wasn't murder? And they'll plead their case.
Right.
Yeah, leadership can supersede the charges, the maximum times and fines, or even the minimum if we feel it's warranted. But if you want to do anything outside the regular guidelines, we need to sit and talk about it. We need to have a chat. We need to figure out if it's warranted. So ASDM or SDM can overrule those guidelines essentially if we think it's warranted. Anyone you're arresting for more than 30 days does go to Sisika. But any charges 29 days or less, you could, if it seems fitting, and same with pretrial release, do that in a local cell, either SDPD or wherever you happen to arrest them at. As long as you get permission from the sheriff if they're around. I wouldn't just go dumping people in their cells.
Right, of course.
And yeah, say discretion whether or not you decide to make the trek to the nearest federal cell, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Or if it's just, if you witness someone, I don't know, punch someone in Valentine, I wouldn't drag them up to Wallace for that. I'd throw them in the Valentine cell.
Exactly.
But if someone's like aggravated assault, they did one aggravated assault, and it's what, 20 days, $30, depending how bad they. If they were like, yeah, they came up and stabbed the marshal or something, they'll probably throw them in the Wallace cell or the SCPD or one of these cells. But honestly, if you've got a warrant down here, generally you can just.
Yeah, more often than not. Alright, that basically covers off today's training.
Wonderful.
The
Right on
only...
time. I'm actually going
You're gonna
to
run...
stay here.
You're gonna have to
but no.
stay the night in the barracks, aren't you? I'm sorry about that.
Honestly, you know what? We'll probably do some character building.
Yeah, it's gonna be good for you. And maybe it'll give you an opportunity to start the homework for this week. because I want
Right.
you to figure out this abduction of Mr. P, the alligator thing. I want you
Fine.
to take a look into that. I want you to figure out, especially, whether this is actually our case to look into or not.
Good to know. All right.
Figure out where it started, where'd they grab him at. Mr. P himself, yes, Langston.
Do you want me to answer that, or
No, Langston. Shut up.
No.
I will ask you later, and then I will have it done.
okay?
And if you do determine that,
Carol?
no,
Okay.
you
never
made a
mind.
case file,
yeah, I
but the
told
case
Drummond.
file doesn't actually say.
No, I didn't make a case file. Hans made a case file.
Oh, okay. Hans made the case file, but it doesn't actually say. Sounds like we have an answer to that, but you'll find that out later. Once you get that answer, if it is ours, see what you can rustle up on it, and we'll reconvene later in the week on it.
Wonderful stuff. All right.
All
I
right.
will do that.
Hey, you're going good. And also, I
Thank you for
want
today.
you to keep digging into Hans. You didn't come up with anything interesting.
No, I mean, honestly, I don't know what else. Like I said before, I don't know what else is more interesting than finding out who he's sleeping with. But honestly, I mean, the way you talk about it, there must be something. Langston can fill me in on that too.
No, Hans is faster than I am, so I'm not risking that one.
Right.
There you go. Does
Wonderful.
that answer your question?
No, it makes me even more paranoid about it. Man's going to
Yeah.
kill me in my sleep in 6 months when I'm barely expecting it.
You're fine. He's on a pacifism kick right now.
Oh, right. Wonderful. Even better.
For now. Better hurry up. Well done, Stanley.
forbid.
You're going great. Just
Try.
try not to get into too much trouble between now and next time we ride along.
Here's hoping. We'll see how it goes.
And watch out for snakes in the barracks down here.
Don't get into the barracks. Stop with the propaganda.
So I stand by what I said before.
Honestly,
just
there are
got
desert
stupid
camps
mistakes.
that are safer than this place, I'm sure.
Right. Well,
Is
I
it
will
one-
see you both later. I will go and acquaint myself with the barracks.
Alright.
You could
Enjoy slumming it
in this
in
place and be fine.
Mercer.
Which door is it? Is it the one upstairs?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. That's right. I will enjoy slumming it. I'm sure it will
See,
be
I'm not
great.
leaving.
Are you staying here?
I am staying here.
Okay.
If I
well,
ride with you, we're both gonna get shot because they're both gonna think that we're each other.
It's true. No matter who they want to shoot, they'll be just like, well, fuck,
Do you,
2 for 1.
do you want me to tell you the thing just so you know?
Oh,
Ahead of
yeah,
finding
actually, I kind of do. Yeah.
It was taken from Blackwater. There was a
Okay.
couple of it was in the general store. I was in Blackwater, and then a couple of locals were talking about it, and then I kicked it up to Drummond. I don't think I heard back.
Okay. Good to know.
But hey, honestly, I haven't seen Blackwater PD in weeks, and
Yeah.
they crossed state lines. They crossed 2 state lines. So honestly, I'd ask Drummond if you can take it.
Well, any idea who did it?
2 people.
Mm.
They mentioned they were paid to do it.
Oh, okay.
I think. I'll need to check. I'll check if
That's
I took down the statement or anything.
sounding
I kind of hope Drummond would
far
get to
more complicated than what I should be assigning to my PDM. But,
it. Hey, deep end,
yeah,
sink or swim.
so long as you don't sink her too fast with the gators.
Hmm.
Alright, I'll touch base with Drummond and let him know that I've given her the task of at least figuring out what and where it happened at.
And then yeah, you got your body outside the bank.
Yeah, any idea what that was about?
I mean, there was the thing on the wall. Don't steal from the poor, which kind of reminds me of the orphan, to be honest. The shit, but it's it's a lot more direct, and also the orphan signs at the orphan, and also he's a little more discreet than when I heard outside the bank. I did not assume like 3 feet from the door in the middle of the street. There's a Queen of Hearts card there, which Posey and I found at a coach robbery at the foot of Bard's Crossing.
Oh, okay. It's a new one on me. I ain't never heard of anyone doing that before.
And then there was
didn't
a
the
ring
trainee play a different marshal?
at the same place.
But they do play an outlaw.
Had Mort or Morte on it, Morte, which is Italian, I think, for death.
Oh, that's charming.
So that's why I've named him Mort.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fair enough. All right.
I think there's always one other coach robbery that he's done somewhere. From what I have been told. But yeah, that's everything I have. And down here, I have nothing but cold cases.
Oh, fun.
And Scarlet breaking the arms and legs of that woman in Armadillo.
What?
So, shit, I meant to go, fuck, probably too late. I meant to go to Siska, actually. But it's been like a week.
Why Sisica?
Because that's where Scarlet came out of. No one's seen Scarlet, and because, you know, we put her in, like, a while ago, and then, I don't know, she's having some argument with someone in, Armadillo, with a woman. Then, I believe she slammed her head into a pole, dragged her out to, you know, the hanging rock? That rock, formation with the tree. Dragged her on top of the smaller rock. You know how there's two big rocks next to the tree?
Yeah.
Dragged her on top of the smaller rock and then broke pretty much every bone in her arms and legs.
Jesus Christ.
Was apparently just muttering insane things, to be honest. She said that she was muttering La Diabla over and over again.
I had a telegram from Scarlett while she was in Sisica complaining, and then I think I asked her what she was complaining about, and she just said murder. That was it. That's all the telegram says is murder.
I mean, that could have been about the fact that we threw that when we were escorting her, she murdered someone. I mean, I suppose.
Could have just been her average threat to me on any typical Wednesday. Okay.
Wait. I was going to say, what was the telegram that you said before that? Or that she sent originally?
I honestly can't remember. It was so long ago. I think she called me a bitch or something. And I said, what the hell? What's that for? And then she said murder. God knows.
Also, I haven't been up there again. I took a look in. Well, I took a look in to see which places we lived in, because do you remember when we were out here with Rhodes, and then Jesse said that he had a place out here?
Yeah, vaguely.
I went looking around, and do you know Ventus' place?
No idea.
The one, it's kind of up on the hill above Armadillo.
Okay.
About halfway to Lake Don Julio.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know for sure. I saw boot prints that might have been Jesse's, and the place stunk of lavender.
Which could be Bryce.
But the place was certainly lived in.
Alright.
I haven't been up there since, but
okay.
Something to think about, at the very least.
We want to go find Jesse and Bryce and witness something unholy, sure.
And get a
search
warrant to sit in the house.
Well, you don't need a warrant. Oh, to sit in the house?
A search warrant where we just...
You could get a search warrant to check for any evidence, check for any, I don't know, coach robbery memorabilia.
I'm also trying to think of something that isn't as permanent or as annoying as a seizure. Sorry, I want it to be as
Mhm.
annoying as a seizure.
Mm-hmm.
And my best idea is to seize a place for like 3 days, quote unquote.
Fair.
And honestly, the strongest candidate is the bullet barn, mainly because it will annoy Bill more than Siege and Kulba would annoy Cal.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but I need to work out argument, and that though it's not too hard considering he's actively living the post robberies. So arguing that he's using the place as a base for his, or he's using the place in his criminal endeavors is not going to be particularly a difficult one, I feel.
Fair enough. All right.
All right. Do you have to go? If
Uh,
I'm keeping you.
no, I'm just thinking, why are we standing here when we could be hunting somebody? But sure.
The main answer to that is that I don't feel like it today.
Fair.
Um,
I have yeah, Bill being a smartass in the telegrams again. I got his new telegram finally.
he's got to be smart at some point, statistically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
You know, Richard's trying to buy a house. He may have even bought one now.
yeah, he was talking about it.
He
While ago.
was trying to get together the last $5 before he went to the
Yes,
assayer. And
actually, I remember that he said he was $60 off, and then as he said that, I find him another like $50 or $60 or something like that.
yeah, Deputy Green was trying to find him $5 so he'd be more than $5 short. I think she put a bounty out on his head for $5 specifically for some petty crime. I thought it was kind of harsh, actually, putting a dead or alive bounty on a man for $5, but
You should tell if you should be careful with that, because I think that can be fraud.
oh, I think she had a crime. He had stolen something.
Well, yeah, but you put it for too low, and then if Richard decides to get uppity and go to court over it, which seems stupid, but that's Richard Garland, to be honest.
True. Petty is just his middle name. Oh yeah, he
What
was
else?
buying some place out by Window Rock.
Oh yeah. Winter.
Honestly, just makes me more worried, because if he spent all his money buying a house, he's just going to be out there doing a whole bunch more crime, because he'll be broke.
Maybe he'll just decide to retreat to the woods forever.
Neither of us are that lucky, Langston, and you know it.
What else? Oh, New Austin developments.
Oh yeah,
Do you like my team?
Who even is your team?
Bundy, Jane, me.
Fantastic, good team.
Jennings left a badge and case files on the desk inside.
Well, shit.
Said that she was retiring. And then Rook's taking a LOA. I mean, he's
Okay, well,
I guess he's technically still on, but in terms
yeah,
of
but not necessarily
active 7.
working for you when he comes back, too, depending on how long he's on LOA for. Well, okay. How long till Bundy
I'm trying to
quits
think.
then?
You know, every time I get a telegram from him, it's like, we need to talk. And I'm like, I'm either about to get killed or promoted.
Yeah, I'm never sure whether he's gonna bite my head off or pat me on the back when I get those telegrams.
Did he ever actually get around to biting your head off?
Neither that nor talking.
Well, actually, what he officially said was he was going to kick the shit out of you.
For what? I don't even remember.
You like discipline Jane.
Oh, yeah, I told Jane he was an idiot.
Yeah, but it was perceived as a white discipline.
How?
I mean, you know the deal. You got a problem with Marshall's thing. For once, I
Good lord.
can agree with this hill.
Man, I was assigned working with Jane. I told him what I thought of what he'd done. That was all it was.
If
Bundy's got
Bundy
a
shows up,
problem
you
with
know what's
that. He
about.
should turn up and have a problem over it.
He'll kick it down the line and I'll pick it up. How about that? Then we
Yeah.
can have our own Roe v. Wanks, and you can be Roe.
Oh, thanks.
Just need to grow out the beard. The thing about new Austin directives,
I don't
to
even.
be honest.
I think Dumont was right there when I had that conversation with him too. Oh no, it was later. He was there when he said it.
I don't know. I'm just telling you because it's been what, a month? 3
More.
months?
It was back when we were doing the prisoner escorts.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while. So I was just mainly curious if he'd actually found you. But
Oh, I remember
So-
now. No, I told him he shouldn't just let people hit him without doing something about it. I just told him what I was told, that we can't let people push us around. You can't just let people take a swing at a marshal in public. You gotta discipline people for that. Can't just be not charging people and taking the hit on the chin. But that's because that's what I was told when someone took a swing at me.
yeah, but you know, I mean, I don't think either of you are in the wrong, so to speak. I can get how he would. I mean, you know, Bundy.
Yeah, I found out later on actually that it was not even the way that Jane had described it. He had literally told the person to hit him.
Jeez.
So it was
Well, it's better than bombing Valentine's Saloon.
fucking moot point, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And I told Bundy straight away what had transpired.
Yeah, but you know.
Well, I'll cross that hill when I come to it.
Just show up at fucking what's it called, the loft, and just knock. Depends if he's even. He might be up there actually. The last telegram I got from him was Wallace.
Oh yeah, maybe. Swing by the gun store on my way back to civilization.
Well, you know, throw dynamite into that cellar that's full of dynamite.
Here's a good way to get his attention.
Yeah, and then you can have standard charge to both of us.
That works.
Say he's a harboring fugitive or first degree.
Yeah, honestly, which is which? Which one of us is which one?
But yeah, that is everything I think I have. I got warrants going out for a bunch of coyotes.
Oh my
Well,
god.
gun written up.
Don't forget they're already on warrants that revoke their PTR, so.
Does that mean I don't have to do it?
Well, you may as well just make a note of it
Yeah.
to the judge that you
I'll
take
just
it
bring it up
to.
to the judge.
Just say, hey, look, they've already got
Yeah, 'cause
warrants
it's
without
arrest.
PTR, so let's just make sure it's noted on this one too.
Well, yeah, but it's by arrest, so if it's revoked in one warrant, technically it's revoked in more.
It should be, but just in case. Doesn't
Yeah.
hurt. It doesn't hurt to make a
what else?
note of any other case files or warrants on them as well when you're publishing them, just so people know.
Yeah, I've been trying to clean up cold cases. You remember Sons of the Sun?
Not at all. Was that one of the cults out
Kruger.
of Strawberry?
the Kruger
Oh,
people.
I heard of him.
Syria. Yeah, with Reese Davies. That's the one
Mm.
who posted around for a little bit. Got a couple
Isn't that
cases
the
of
one that was
them,
worth like $500?
3,000,
Yeah.
something like that. I got a couple cases of them that I'm probably just throwing straight into the cold pile. No one's seen them in half a year.
Okay.
That's a little. I think that's over. But you know what I mean. It's been months. I found there's a Drummond one that was never Drummond reporter one that was never actually worked at all. So then that's the one I'm doing. And I'll be honest, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I might just turn around and tell New Austin, if you catch a coyote doing a crime, any of the kindred coyotes, max charge them. They probably deserve it at this point.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I made a note of that for Bill in Saint Denis as well. Anyone catches Bill with a pickpocketing bounty, it's full charges.
Yeah. I'm just waiting. If they do a crime in New Austin, I don't want them to go superseding other marshals. But like, if you're working cases coyotes, max charge them at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my warrants that I got going out, their time was it was 540 days. $490 was the max, and then I essentially just thought, fuck it, and then it's 1,000 days each with a $500 fine.
Makes sense to me. I've done the same. Doesn't necessarily make any difference, but it's deserved.
I mean, hell, they can double it again if they want, and on top of the other warrants.
Yeah, like they're not going to make a run for it, right?
I also want to be very clear about deals. I reckon that if you are making a deal, you shouldn't make deal on other people's warrants, but if you're making a deal, I mean, I don't want to say it outright, like you're banned from doing it, but just say you shouldn't. If they come in peaceful, don't cut more than 10%.
I mean,
of the sentence. If you, only cut more than 10% if they're actually giving you something useful on top of being peaceful. If they don't come in peaceful at all, don't cut off any time.
Absolutely.
They choose to shoot, cut zero time.
Deals require something from a person. They've got to, in some way, make my job easier.
We ain't the priesthood. This isn't
ain't about forgiveness.
Unconditional. This is transactional.
Yep, absolutely. Hell yeah. I ain't interested otherwise.
I'm trying to think about if I want to drop a poster. This shit. I think it might be too much. I might try and see if I can get it does sign off on recidivism.
For Josie Sweet, at least. And Scarlet?
No, they're all of them recidivism, but recidivism sentencing for harboring a coyote. I want to say if you harbor a coyote, it's a flat 100 days.
Interesting theory.
Well, do I actually think I'll enforce it? Well, sorry, do I think I'll actually be able to catch anyone doing it? No. Do I think that it's gonna be a hell of a we're here and you're not?
I like it.
You can't just run around. You like this isn't free territory.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Then I got that Scarlet Armadillo thing.
Yeah. How's the sheriff down there? They still got one?
As far as I know, but I haven't. Posters haven't been up. As far as I know, and I haven't seen them in 2 weeks at least.
How about McGraw out in Tumbleweed?
Same. I saw him doing when he was running his posters through both sets of Come Down Tumbleweed for my own work. I saw him then.
All right.
Apart from that, no, haven't seen.
Blackwater ain't no better off either. Hell, I don't even know if Strawberry is. I got a telegram about 6 days back from Deputy Evie of Rhodes saying she'd seen a bunch of evidence of bodies and blood in Strawberry.
Jesus.
Ain't gonna be anything there by the time I get there, but I'm hoping Strawberry turned up and had a look around.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Queen of Hearts would be the only new.
Yeah, alright. And
It
whoever
was
did
written.
this to Mr. P,
Mm.
curious to see what kind of conspiracy was involved in payments.
Yeah, I think it was the person at the telegram office. There's someone outside the general store talking about it, and there's someone outside at the
Alright.
telegram office talking about it. And they mentioned that they heard one of the people say, I mean, that's another thing, multiple people. I can't remember an exact number. I'll go through and see if I recorded anything about it.
Well, give it to
But I don't
Delphine
think
if
I
you
did.
did, when she talks to you
Mm.
tomorrow or whenever.
We'll do.
Alright.
But yeah, I will let you go.
I gotta get back to the east. Feel free to tell Bundy you admonished me for my sins.
Oh no, I'm waiting until it quits and then I'll find you, and then we'll do the plank fight.
The plank fight, is that my
You're
punishment
doing the
for
plank fight.
trying to teach?
Oh, you know something funny? Do you remember a while ago? I wasn't hired yet. There was a fighting competition in Van Horn.
Oh yeah, vaguely, yeah.
So I joined that one, and then they were meant to do more. So, had my Sky spelled my name, and then he was like, "I telegram you when we build up other ones," and like other people in the competition. It's like Roe. I fought Bryce that day. Robberoo Bryce still at that point.
Okay.
Jesse. I came in second because I got put in the loser bracket. I won the loser bracket. Then I went against Jesse, and then I think we did a rematch, and then Jesse won the rematch.
Jesus Christ.
Or I won the fifth fight against Jesse. Then we did rematch, and then Jesse won the rematch, which is going to be very interesting. That's when we do I go to a criminal fist fight competition. But hi, it's me.
Oh my god. You're just gonna get shot. Someone's gonna cheat and stab you in the ribs.
Well, I would hope that Sky is an equal peacekeeper because I believe Piper was there and I threatened to shoot her at least 3 times. I said, I'm gonna jump this barricade and I'm gonna shoot you, and then Sky pulled out his sword off and said, if you do that, I'm gonna shoot you. And you know what?
Oh,
Nothing
speaking of
happened.
Piper, that was the useful piece of, not very useful piece of information that Richard Garland tried to sell me, that he has a painting called Horse that he thinks he's selling on behalf of her. But I couldn't find any case files of stolen art. You got any? You know of any?
She was selling paintings when I first started hunting her.
I thought...
I found her near, you know the bridge that's near Riggs Station? When you're going to Riggs Station from the road, and then there's that wooden bridge. You go left to Strawberry, straight to Riggs. I found her near there. And then she tried selling a painting to Sunshine.
I recall.
Well, she agreed to sell a
Mountain or something, right?
Something like that.
Or Horse. Anyway.
I remember after doing that, or after she mentioned the paintings once, checking the gallery, but there's nothing in there. So I never was really able to determine if she was stealing paintings or not.
Well, that's what I thought, that it wasn't a clear crime unless we could find out where the painting had come from.
Pretty much.
Unless...
Oh,
is that the one from... There was something that got stolen from Drummond, but it was a Blackwater case, I think.
That was Richard, I thought. Didn't Richard break into the house and steal something? I
Yeah,
remember
that's right.
him.
And I think they caught him for it, but I just can't remember.
Well, you know, just said pay me $50 and he can go free.
Something like that. Okay. Well, if you think of anything, Richard has a horse painting at the moment that's in his possession that could be evidence of a crime that Piper committed.
Is it a good horse painting? What if I want to buy it?
So-so. It's just a horse. It's not even. It's from a horse's
Just a
behind
horse?
as well.
Just a horse?
It's just a horse. It ain't like a particularly pretty horse. It ain't a unique style of artwork. It's brown on a green field.
I'm feeling, on Pose's behalf, I feel revulsion.
Well, that's a you problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lesser Langston. I'll let you get some rest out here in the desert. I'm gonna make my. Don't even. I saw that.
So what?
Yeah. Okay.
Ride safe. Don't get caught out by,
Pack of coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. I'll try it. You know, there's some fella, 5'11", average build, jet black hair, pale skin, worth $500. I would have gone chasing
Yeah.
him, but I had to do some teaching today.
Where? Saint Denis?
Out of Saint Denis, but last seen in Valentine.
I don't know that description. 5'11", you said?
Yeah.
I don't know that description. But that's a, what, all pickpocketing?
And a coach robbery that doesn't seem to be on my books. Somewhere between the 8th of May and the 9th of May. 25 pickpocketings, a coach robbery, and possibly a murder. $520.
I'm feeling more up to it another day.
Mhm.
ASDM's on the prowl. I meant reach for my knife. I'm gonna stab you.
Either way, you're making me nervous. I don't want to be stabbed or shot here in the desert.
But you haven't been shot today. We gotta keep it going.
No, we don't. It's not your job. That is not in the ASDM of New Austin's job description. Go
I'll
back
be
to
honest,
training your people.
I could ask Bundy, and one of them who's sick.
He needs retraining. Go and train him.
Can I retrain you?
Probably not. I think it's too late. Many
be a
people
stunning
better than you have
conversationalist.
tried.
Better than me?
Yes.
Name one person better than me.
Dumont.
My point still stands. Name one person better than me.
I gotta go send a telegram. I'll see you tomorrow. Not Langston. Look after my PDM. He's funny. Alright, back to civilization we go, chat. Howdy.
Oh, hello.
What on... What are you doing out here, Deputy?
Welcome to Millie's Western Adventure.
What are you doing out here?
All right, look, I promised Bill I'd get bullets. If I ever needed bullets, I'd come to his store to give him business so he'd stop doing crime. And today was that day.
That's-
And then I made it a Western Adventure. I took a lot of pictures.
Are you wearing a safari hat?
I'm doing nature photography.
That's adorable.
I'm on a Stop it. I'm on a journey. Well, I was on a journey. I'm going back now because they said, no. Wait, what did they say? Something like, when you come back to roads, don't look for us. They said something suspicious, and I got worried. So now I'm on my way back really fast.
Wait, who's out in Tumbleweed?
Well, they're not in Tumbleweed.
Where are they?
Lice and Bill and a lot of people, they went that way. And then they said, don't worry when you come. They asked, like, is Rhodes all alone now? And then I
When
said,
you say a
no,
lot of people, how many people are we talking?
like a lot of them. I think I saw Jesse Sweet and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 people.
Fuck.
And they said, like, is Rhodes all alone now? And then I got worried, so I hurried back, and now I didn't take a lot of pictures of the cactuses.
Okay. Well,
But I gotta check on Rhodes, because they're suspicious.
yeah, they are. They absolutely are. And it's not
I don't
usually
know
a
what they're
good
gonna
thing
do
when
to
they're
Rhodes.
acting suspicious.
And now they know I was going here, but then they said they wouldn't do crime, but they would
They also
would lie to me.
lie, Deputy
Yeah.
Green. They also lie.
I should have gone
Chronic
after them immediately.
liars.
But it wasn't
Probably.
long ago.
Do you have bounties on any of them?
No, they've been good.
No, they haven't. They've just been good in roads. I've got like,
They've been perfect in Rhodes.
I've probably got 5 warrants right now on Jesse Sweet.
Oh my goodness. They have not been good.
They are not good people. Regardless of what they try and tells you.
They better leave Rhodes alone.
Yeah,
Out of all
well,
places. Surely they wouldn't, would they?
They
They
would.
would. Not today, though.
If they wanted to, they would.
Not on Willie's Western Adventure.
Well, the only
They've
saving
ruined my
grace
trip.
is that you've just purchased bullets from Bill, so he might feel inclined to be nice.
Exactly. He said then he had
No.
money and he wouldn't have to do crime.
That's also a lie, Millie. You know that, right?
No. That's why they do crime, because they need money.
They do crime because that's just what they like doing. Jesse doesn't need to commit crime to get money. He's got a business to run. So does Bill.
Maybe, yeah, but maybe the business is on running very well, and that's
Maybe
why they
their
need to do
businesses
crime.
are a front for crime.
What?
Maybe those are stolen bullets that you just purchased.
Oh my goodness, I wouldn't shoot stolen bullets.
Just saying. How do you know
Now I
that
feel
there's a legitimate businessman in there? How
Huh?
do you know?
well. They.
Mm-hmm.
You think I bought stolen bullets?
I got no idea, honestly. I'm just messing
I
with you.
can't use these then. What am I? I can't use stolen contraband. Can we go through here? Isn't this
We can go through.
property? Okay.
It's a public telegram station right there.
Oh. I feel like I'm trespassing.
You are not.
Oh.
Just watch out for the wolves and the cougar.
I can take pictures of them if we see them before they see us.
No.
I don't have a cougar picture yet. For my collection.
The only cougar picture you're getting is a dead cougar.
Ah, that's so depressing. Cougars are wonderful creatures, actually. They got big teeth.
All the better to eat you with.
Not if you're careful. I need a wagon.
You think you're more sneaky than one of nature's best killers.
No, they're extremely sneaky. That's why it's so hard to get a picture of them. Too bad I go
Mhm.
back without a cougar picture, but they cut my journey short. They ruined it. A little bit. Luckily, it's butterfly hatching season. Gotta take pictures in roads. Are we going this way? Is this the right way?
What are you talking about? Is this the right way?
I don't know if this is the right way.
To go where? Where are you trying to go?
Back to the roads.
This is the right way.
Okay. Bad at reading map. Never been out here. Not all the way to Tumbleweed.
It's because it's
Oh,
dangerous.
I think I have. That's why I got my horse. Yeah, and it's dangerous. I did see 2 lizards. They were huge.
Did you photograph them?
Yeah. Well, one of them.
Wait,
the
how
other ran
huge?
away.
Do you know they were lizards and not gators?
They were as big as my arm. I know.
Okay,
gators,
that's
they
big
have different
for a
heads.
lizard, small for a gator.
Yeah, it was definitely not gators. I know my animals. Oh, they better not have done anything to roads. They specifically asked, so no one's watching roads right now.
That would be awkward, wouldn't it? That you just
it-
abandoned Rhodes to go give Bill
Okay,
some money,
don't make me feel bad.
and then Rhodes gets robbed.
Ah, but I do
Does
business.
that count as
so
harboring a fugitive?
it better not, does it? No.
Maybe
it
I should
couldn't.
tell Boomer.
No, please don't tell Boomer.
Seems like the kind of fella that'd
I'm
take it pretty seriously. Like,
Yeah, he would. But I'm
I'm
doing a
gonna
good
have to
thing.
talk to Millie about that.
That is what he would say.
Well,
But I'm doing a greater. Look at the bigger picture. Bill said if his store's doing well, he didn't need money. He wouldn't do crime. I'm giving him money to not do crime. So in
so you're
the
bribing
end-
him to not do crime. Therefore, you're incentivizing him to currently do more
Yeah.
crime.
No,
Mm-hmm.
it's business. His business isn't running well, so I'm giving him business. It's the. I'm basically doing my job right now by purchasing
Right.
bullets from his Bill's Bullet Barn.
Fair enough.
I
That-
think. Look, a fox.
Howdy.
Howdy.
How goes it?
It goes.
Anyone else come through here lately?
Hello.
Blackwater's a little crowded.
Blackwater's crowded.
Mm-hmm.
How fun.
That means I haven't got to roads
I
yet.
was gonna say,
Perfect.
good news, Millie. Roads ain't being burned. Yet.
Did you get lost again?
Yeah, it turns out she went all the way to Tumbleweed.
I was just
Millie's
very lost.
Western Adventure. That's what Elias named it.
She's just
Just a
running
bad
with it.
choice for a Western adventure.
I'm doing photography.
Mm.
Why is everyone having problems with my hat? It's just I'm taking pictures. I'm on a nature adventure. It's perfectly suited. I did
You say
business
so.
at Bill's Bullets Barn. To make him stop doing crime.
Well, I couldn't be honest. If you do business at his establishment, you're probably helping him do crime.
No, because it's legitimate business that it's not doing well, but now it is because I've given them business. So now he doesn't need to rob anyone.
I'm sure that'll stop him.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Yeah, just like Richard's not going to commit crime now that he's a homeowner and doesn't need to. Nope, that's not how that works.
Did he get his last $5?
Yeah, yeah.
He has a home now.
Well, I assume. I don't know that he got his home, but that was what he said he
Oh.
was off to do, to find
Yeah,
an
he kept
assayer
saying
or
it.
whatever.
A what? I didn't think he would even be allowed to
Real
purchase a
estate
home.
agent. Why not?
Oh. Like, because he's such a criminal. He does a lot of bad things.
Deputy Green doesn't think criminals should own homes.
Okay, I didn't say that.
Wow.
I just think
I'm
that
gonna go to Blackwater and tell Jesse Sweet what you just said.
why I need to watch my words. I mean, it feels like they would do a background check if you were trying to buy a home.
Why?
I don't know. I just think that I don't know. He might use his home for bad. The renter probably wouldn't like it. But yeah, criminals should own homes. They need places to sleep too.
Yeah, like prison. Prison is a place for them to
All
stay.
right, that's
Right.
much worse than what I said.
I'm just picking up on what you were saying. That's all.
I didn't. That's not my words. I saw huge lizards.
Yeah.
I took a picture of one of them. The other one was too fast. There's supposedly white and red ones, but I haven't spotted those yet. Mine were light green, I think. It was dark.
Did you see the desert cougar?
No. I wanted to stay longer to see it, but they were saying when I ran into them, like, oh, you're leaving roads unprotected, so no one's watching roads, so don't look at the bounty board when you get back. And then I got really concerned and I turned back. That's where I'm going now, but since they're in Blackwater, they haven't
Mhm.
made it back yet. I'm gonna be faster than them.
Not if you stand around talking, you won't be.
Right. Off I go.
Alright. Which way you headed, Alex?
I was just being about. You know how it is.
Coming to roads too.
Dust.
Swing through Blackwater. But you can
Need
go straight to
assistance?
roads.
Oh,
If you
What's
want to make
it?
sure it's not burning.
I do want to make sure it's not burning.
There were 5 of them, Ty. Don't get too brave.
Only 5? That means I've got
That's
one
what I
bullet
counted.
spare.
Well, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard anyone say. I was like a dime novel.
Thanks, I think.
5 bullets. Means I got one spare. You should have said it like more like that.
Like a
And it
villain?
would have.
Like a cowboy.
That's not a villain voice. Like a cowboy.
Okay, was I too relaxed about it?
Yeah, you were like casual, but not casual enough about it.
I see. Forgive me. I'll try again next time.
Yeah, but then we already know, so it's just gonna be sad when you try it again.
So it's ruined forever now. I had my
You
one
really-
shot and I blew it.
Yeah, you blew it a little bit. It was still cool though. It was
Thanks.
still impressive.
You could make a written record of it and tell people I said it cooler than I did?
That would be dishonest.
I could do the US dime novel.
Yeah.
We
But
need to do that for Richard. But I want to. I have a plan.
to catch
So I want
Richard?
to.
Did you
no,
put
to
a
make him stop
$5
getting
bounty on
caught.
him? Is that what you've got at the moment?
Maybe. He stole my freshly baked bread that I made for the entire office.
I can't believe you would
Oh,
risk a man's life over $5.
he stole your bread, then robbed a coach. That's amazing.
No, he didn't rob a coach.
He in fact did. There were breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
I
What?
saw them. Yeah.
Yeah, he may have beaten a fella with your bread.
What?
Hard baked or something. I don't know.
Alright, now he's just insulting me. I know I'm new to cooking, but I'm sure it wasn't that bad. It smelled nice. Maybe a little burnt.
That burnt end might have been what he used to beat the fella with.
He's...
a
And
gas
he's using
station.
my bread for crime. And he's insulting my cooking at the same time.
That's just
By doing
mean,
crime with
isn't
it.
it?
I'll make a new batch and it will be better. But I need the money for the ingredients
Mm.
that he stole.
Don't they pay you in roads
Yeah, but not too much.
for deputy
Ingredients
work?
are expensive. I do get paid.
Wow, that is quite a lot of horses, ain't it?
They're very nice though. They're in a good mood, I think.
They're not anymore. I'm here.
Really? You're on the bad side?
Oh, you sweet summer child.
He's talking to you.
It's summer. Since, like... oh, it's not summer yet, is it? Spring. Hello!
Hello. How's your
Howdy.
Western adventure going?
My Western adventure was cut a little short because you made me worry.
Oh, what?
Because you said, oh, you're leaving roads unprotected. Unpredicted.
I'm just worried about the citizens of Rhodes.
Yeah, me too. So I couldn't get a picture of the cougar under a red lizard. But I did business at Bull's Boulevard.
Yeah, did you buy some of my good bullets up there?
I bought the best bullets. I left a tip too.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yes, of course. Now there's no need to do anything to get money. Only good business.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Just good business. Make bullets. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
You make them yourself.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
How else do you think bullets are made?
Well, I wouldn't know. See, they're good bullets. I can use them.
They are.
Legitimately.
Real good. Nicely tightly sealed with the gunpowder in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
At the bottom, you should see a stamp of a triple B.
What's it stand for?
Bill's Bullet Barn.
I
Oh,
was
right.
gonna say that feels a little off.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I knew that. I was just joking.
So how's your day been, Tyrell?
Yeah, you're a little far from the lawn.
Yeah, I had my own little western adventure.
Oh.
You took pictures too. Where's your hat?
I was working. I was literally going to the other fort. You know, the one out in New Austin that we
No,
worked
I
from.
try not to think about it.
Why not? Your
I
best
honestly
friend's
kinda forget
there all
it's
the
there.
time.
Who?
Langston.
Oh, yeah. Great friends with him.
Great. Friends with Langston.
How's he doing?
He's alive and well.
Mm.
Unfortunate.
Took
I
wood
knew
right on
one of
my
you would
mouth
have to say that if I said it like that. I'm glad that you didn't disappoint there, Elias.
Yeah, well, my horse isn't, so.
Oh, did Langston kill your horse?
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame.
Oh, horse.
Horse indeed.
What were you doing on your western adventure, Tyrell?
Oh, just going out to the other fort, doing some paperwork out there. And
You have to go to other
Sure.
forts to do your paperwork?
sometimes. don't get to do it all at SDPD. Gotta go, you know, do the rounds.
I just figured you stayed in Lemoyne all the time.
Not if I can help it.
You don't like it?
What's to like about Lemoyne, generally speaking?
Well,
Like,
why
it's
do you work there if you hate it so much?
because I don't need to work in places I love and I like to live in.
Eh.
I don't need
I mean,
to
the
like a
swamps ain't
place
that
to
bad.
try and catch the fugitives in it. Swamps ain't that bad. They're not great though, are they?
No, I don't like them at all. Too many bugs, real humid,
Mm-hmm.
kind of gross.
Smell
a lot of mud.
Saint Denis is awful.
It's not great.
It's just like one big long drop of a smell. And what are you five up to on this beautiful evening?
It's a
guess-
nice day.
We're having a Western adventure too.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that just every
We should
day?
have gone together.
Yeah, it's pretty much every day. It's
It'll
kinda how
make
we
it less
live
of
our
an
life.
adventure.
Yeah, it's still an adventure. We have a good time.
That's fair. And just here to spend your money in the saloon and have fun with the lovely citizens of Blackwater?
Oh no, absolutely not. I try not to spend my money here.
Fair enough. So just the convenience of the telegram station then?
Yeah, pretty much. Stables. The doctor's office for bills sometimes.
The tailors.
For Bill as well?
Mm-hmm.
Bill looks great right now.
I do. I look amazing.
You do. You look
Yeah, he looks
fantastic.
good as shit.
That's
Is that a compliment, Jesse?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
good as
looks,
shit.
he looks damn good. Is that better?
Oh, okay. Not as good as a pile of manure.
He looks better than a pile of manure.
Yeah, pile of manure don't have voluptuous mullet like me.
Voluptuous.
That,
Voluptuous, yeah.
that's awful.
That's a good hat, Millie.
thank you. It's for my Millie's Western adventure.
Oh, you
Yeah, it looks
picked
like
that
you're
out.
about to be on a safari.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking pictures of the animals. It's
Yeah,
actually
she wants to
butterfly
take a
hatching
picture
season.
of the cougar.
Yeah. I
You
didn't
can take a
get
picture
one.
of us.
You're not a cougar.
So we're coyotes.
Not really.
It's out west. Maybe not really.
I mean, you're not a real coyote.
That's hurtful. That's the most hurtful thing you could have said.
What do you mean? I just mean the animal.
Well, we are the coyotes, though.
Yeah, but you're not the animal coyotes.
But we're the coyotes.
But you're... Yeah.
Who says we're not animals? I bet many of folks you ride with would disagree.
I bet Tyrell would disagree.
Mm-hmm.
That y'all are animals?
That's right.
Depends on the day. I don't know if I disagree. I like
Not today, though.
animals.
Me too.
Animals don't intentionally go out of their way. They're just trying to survive. They ain't out there committing murder. They're just out there getting a feed.
You got a new recruit, too?
Oh, you do?
We do.
Just asking.
I'm sure you'll meet them eventually.
Yeah?
Eventually.
Fingers crossed.
They seem like good people.
They work for you.
They do.
Won't be good people for long. Give them enough time.
Any others coming down the pipeline?
Other recruits?
Yeah.
Well, not for me. I know you'd have to go ask Langston or Posey. Or maybe Juno if they're hiring. Why, are you looking for a job, Jesse? Some legitimate work? Legal work?
No, I was born illegitimate. I'll stay illegitimate to the day I die.
Yeah.
That's such a sad thing to say.
Is it?
Yeah, you shouldn't be proud of that.
I mean, I didn't do it. Well, the last part I did, but
You didn't start that way.
yeah, I didn't say, hey, mom, dad, have me out of wedlock.
He didn't choose the illegitimate life.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't
their
mean you have to
fault he's a
continue.
bastard, not his.
I quite enjoy my illegitimacy.
Fair enough, as long as you're enjoying it.
Thanks, Dad.
That doesn't sound good. I don't like that.
No, I didn't like that either. Unless you're the one he's talking about.
Did I'm his dad?
Nothing.
No, I'm
Like some
not.
Oh, okay,
dads say,
just making
as long as
sure.
you're having fun, son, that's all that matters.
As long as you're happy. Yeah. Your mother will be so proud as long as you're happy. Sure. Well, don't let us hold up your big western adventures. And we're going east, where it's unadventurous.
Well, I do wish you plentiful adventures.
Thanks, you're so kind.
Bye!
I judge.
Be seeing you all real soon, I'm sure.
Why you always talk so ominously?
Cause they all gotta go to jail.
Oh. All of them?
Maybe not Frankie, but probably, because if I try and arrest any of the rest of them, she's probably gonna try and stop us.
Which one's Frankie?
The blonde?
Oh, long hair?
Yeah.
Ah. I don't know them yet, I think. I think a lot of that conversation went over my head, but I feel like every conversation is like that for me.
It's not your fault you're short.
And it's not literally. It's reading the room kind of thing. I'm really bad at it. I'm trying my best, but I think there's a problem in my brain.
It was mostly just veiled insults and threats. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I didn't realize that at all. I thought it was a real nice conversation.
Even the part where I said I'll see him soon, that was just a threat.
So how soon are you planning to see them? Or was it just like a general?
As soon as I catch one of them slipping and not riding around in a group.
Ah.
Or two of them even. I'm happy with two of them.
Oh, there was two of them talking to me earlier. The rest went ahead.
I just don't like the idea of 5 of them at once.
Right. It was slipping with me, but I didn't have bounties. I didn't know there were wanted either.
Feel a little bit bad. Alex fell asleep back there.
Yeah, he didn't wake back up either, so I didn't know what to do.
It was sure taking a while, and I felt like I should just carry on because he'll be fine.
He seems like he can handle himself, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Catch
And he
your
always
serial
catches me
killer
when I'm
yet?
lost. No, we haven't. Roads is becoming quite scary at the... We have a curfew now, did you hear?
Mm-hmm. Does this mean you're gonna break curfew?
I am kind of breaking curfew, but I'm the law and it doesn't count for us. Although Boomer might disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said I wasn't allowed to travel alone at night.
And so you decided to travel to Tumbleweed alone at night.
I needed to business for the greater good, and
Mm-hmm.
I
Sure.
wasn't... The murders aren't... Where's my map?
Where are you going?
I can't
There's...
see. I
Don't go that way. That bridge is
Alright.
broken.
Okay. I think I have an old map.
You've been drinking.
No. Maybe. No, I haven't. That was a joke. See? I can do that too.
I like it. It was funny.
Oh, I shouldn't have corrected myself.
Well, better get back to Rhodes before they do, so at least you're in there when it burns. You can start shooting.
I hope not. Not today. Not on Millie's Western Adventure Day. Oh, squirrels!
That was perfect.
What?
You're in the middle of a sentence and then you're just like, ooh, squirrels.
I like squirrels. They're great creatures.
You get easily distracted, Deputy Millie?
I do. I hear that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I completely was distracted by a fox before we ran into Alex. And then I missed that he was right there.
Right, Zach?
Not a good thing.
No, generally not.
I'm working on it. It's getting better every day.
I'm proud. All we can do is work on our flaws. There ain't no more that we can be asked of.
Yeah. Sometimes I get distracted with good things, because then I spot things that others don't see. But
Fair
usually
enough.
not.
Yeah, you get distracted at the right moment and you see the thing that others don't. You get distracted at the wrong moment and you don't see the thing that everybody does.
Hey, that's the thing I'm good at. Exactly.
You just gotta get your moments. You gotta pick 'em better.
Do you know where they sell apple pie? By any chance?
Annabelle's out at Emerald, or maybe the Valentine Saloon.
Oh, alright.
You want pie?
Yeah. Want to treat the saloon.
That's nice.
Make it a bit more happy than all these murders.
If you'd told me, I could have baked you one.
Really? A fresh one?
I could.
Oh!
Just need some apples, some flour, some sugar, some milk, I think.
Well,
I got a
Richard,
recipe somewhere.
Really? You can cook? I can't make one myself, but I
I
can buy
am
one.
a fantastic cook, I will say.
Oh.
But I don't know if I've got all those ingredients. We could have a look in Valentine to see if I can find them.
Yeah, I don't have all the ingredients. I used them for my bread that Richard stole.
That's tragic.
Yep. Criminal. The orphan better not be out in the roads right now.
That would
I'd
also
feel
be
so
awkward,
bad.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Someone dies because you were off on a little adventure.
I have my old jingle, Billy's Fast and Adventure, and then I come back to murder, and then was it worth it? No. But do I have nice pictures? Yes.
Yep. Would be
Did
tragic.
I try to stop crime? Did I stop crime? Because Bill probably was on his way to do crime, but then he saw, well, I got business, now I don't need to do it. You know?
Or he's like, hey, I got business, friends. We can buy more guns and do more crime.
Did you need more guns? Did you? No, because now he wouldn't need to buy guns from it.
Hey, look, friends.
don't
We
know.
got more money. We can buy dynamite now. Let's go rob a bank.
Oh, no, don't rob a bank, Bill.
I'm so glad that my store is doing so well that I can afford to rob a bank now.
No, my store's doing so well, so I don't need to rob a bank now. That's how he's gonna think.
Sure, that's how Bill's gonna think. That's how Bill would always think. I'm sure it is. You're right, you're right.
Have you seen my flyer?
For...
You have seen it.
Oh, yeah.
I hand them out to criminals.
Mm-hmm.
Because that makes them think differently. Oh, go too ahead. Because the way you're thinking is like a criminal would think. But
Didn't your flyer just give them ideas as to how to dispose of the bodies?
That's what they filled in. I watched my wording very carefully because I knew they were going to do that, and they still found loopholes.
Yeah, that's awkward.
It's really awkward. They're very good at twisting my words around.
You gotta be more careful with those words. Like, look at this fog. This means Jesse Sweet is up to no good. And you probably...
Oh, no.
That's a cliff. See, we're so lost right now.
I get lost a lot, and then Alex finds me and points me where the road is. It happens every time. Oh, hey. All good now. I'm gonna go into the swamps next, I think, if roads are safe from any orphans.
And photograph alligators?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's beautiful butterflies in the swamps.
At night? In the fog?
No, they're not out at night. And I probably shouldn't go in the fog. That's bad for pictures.
Yeah, I would say it's a little risky about alligators too. Oh yeah, we're gonna go check the general store, see if I can find apples, flour, sugar, and milk and butter. I need 5 apples. In fact, I don't need the flour. I got flour back at home.
Apple pie. Delicious. Haven't been here in a while. Looking at my horse, I remember why.
Yeah, it's filth. This town is a mess. Oh god.
Uh-oh. What happened at the bank? I think she was flirted with. She's all giggly.
Yeah, it would seem that way, wouldn't it? Any idea who
Yeah.
would flirt like that?
I do.
Oh,
I
hi,
do.
sleepyhead. Feeling better?
Peachy, just peachy.
Fair enough.
Oh, it looks like some sort of animal went through here. Yeah, look at this footprint. Claws.
That is ominous, is what that is.
Rowdy. So, when Bill was flirting with the cashier of the bank, you think that it was a distraction?
It's cute you think that was Bill.
Yeah?
It's,
It's quite sweet talk.
it's not Bill.
It's a little handsome, I guess. Maybe. Who's in it? Ah.
Samuel Rand.
Oh.
Hmm?
Wesley Reed. Samuel Wren.
Yep. Plus the 5 that we just saw. Makes 6. They didn't
Is
have
there anything
apples,
else
so I
I've
can't
opened?
make apple pie, sorry.
No.
I did buy a bag of sugar, but they didn't got butter or milk neither. Some chance Emerald
Oh.
does.
Or
Have a
maybe
look.
roads.
Yeah, if you bring me the ingredients, I'll make you a pie on Friday. How's that sound? Or Thursday?
On Friday. I'd like that. I'll get the ingredients.
Alright.
Thursday.
5 apples. Butter, milk. I got the flour already.
Alright.
And I got an oven at my place. I can do it there. Or I can build
Perfect.
cooking roads.
Millie's Apple Adventure.
You only got to go down to Braithwaite and ask Marceline nicely if you don't got apples.
Yeah, she
anywhere
wasn't
else.
home last time. They have it in roads. But we're always out of sugar, but I get that in Saint Denis.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna send Hans a quick telegram.
Some wholesome.
Well, I'm headed home. I don't know about what you two are up to next.
I gotta go back to road.
Make sure it's not burned.
Yeah, exactly. I hope they don't go there now.
That would be awkward, wouldn't it?
Oh, better not do any crime. Not today.
Why? They do crime on any day ending in a Y.
But it's a special day.
'Cause it's Millie's Western Adventure?
Yeah, for my birthday.
Wait, it's your birthday?
Yeah.
What the hell, Millie? Happy birthday.
Thank you. That's why I went on Millie's Western Adventure.
Gosh. You should have led with that.
Oh, maybe next time. Next year.
Next year on the 20th of May.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Happy birthday, Millie.
Thank you. That's why they can't do crime. And the orphan shouldn't do anything. Because I would not like it. But not on any other day either, just to be specific.
I'm pleased you cleared that up. Yeah.
Yeah, just like I don't like it on the other days either.
Just in general, especially not on her birthday, but no other day neither.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. Honestly fair. Alright, well, you be safe and have a good birthday.
I will.
And we'll,
Thank you. I'll take some more animal pictures
we'll
because it's
bake
my
you that
favorite thing
apple
to
pie
do.
next time as a belated birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you be safe.
You too. Thank you.
You can give her company. I think I'll get home safe from here, but I ain't gonna say no to the company too if you want to ride with.
Sure.
At least you know where she's going.
Yeah, I'll swing by roads after, make sure she didn't explode or something.
She does. She did say you also have a tendency to find her lost in places too.
I have a tendency to find a lot of people.
God, I'm lucky you're not a serial killer.
Remember that time, what's a big mountain man's name?
Zach?
Yeah, he thought I was the,
Mm-hmm.
Dollmaker. Yep. Fun. Exciting.
Thought you were that. God, what was his name?
Oh yeah, you mistook me for the maple syrup man, too.
Yeah, the pancake man. Because you was both riding around on the same horse
Okay,
with the
first
same
of all,
hat.
yeah, well, this is my outfit. That man's dead.
Yeah, well, he is now.
It was my outfit before he wore it, too. I was here first.
Yes, that doesn't change the fact you were wearing the same outfit as a serial killer. Psychopath.
Glass houses, Tyrone, glass houses.
It's not my fault that Langston keeps wearing my clothes, okay? I told the tailor, don't sell these things to him. He's only going to make the reputation of this hat worse.
But he has his own hat now.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing it today. He was wearing this hat.
Oh.
I think because he knew I was headed out to New Austin. Son of a bitch.
Y'all get up to anything fun while I dozed off?
No, just some veiled insults and barbs thrown here and there. All
Oh,
kind
you
of went
haven't
over
made that.
Millie's head.
No, she's a little
But
too
nobody...
green to the whole thing.
Yeah. Nobody drew any guns. Nobody threatened anyone directly. It was all
How
just
boring.
civilized almost. If I'd known it was Millie's birthday, we could have drawn some iron and got her into a gunfight for her birthday.
I'm sure she would have really appreciated that.
What better way to celebrate than with fireworks?
Maybe they robbed the bank in Rhodes before she got back. Then she can have an investigation for her birthday.
That would be funny. If she got sidetracked so much that they rode all the way from Blackwater into Rhodes, robbed the bank, and rode out of town again. while she's hurrying back to make sure it don't burn.
Did you all ever catch Richard from your mine shaft adventure?
Don't think so. Don't think so. Every so often I get concerned that the wild horses are people's horses. As I ride up to my place, I'm like, wait, who's there waiting for me? Oh, nope, never mind. It's just a herd of wild horses in the field. Looking suspicious. This your new horse that Posey trained up?
It is, yes.
What's his
It's a
name?
Bear. He was afraid of bears.
Who's Afraid of Bears is the name.
His name is Bear. He just is afraid of bears.
Bears Afraid of Bears? Well, that's just silly.
Posey gave him the name, you know, to try and get him over it. I don't think it worked.
Oh, well. She tries.
Anyway. That's life.
Thank you, sir. I will see
Yeah,
you
anytime.
again soon, I'm sure. When I least
Sure you
expect
will.
to run into you, you will be just there.
It might be.
Sitting on a hillside, watching the world go by.
Something like that.
Alright. You be safe, Alex.
You too.
Gotta put up posters at the house quickly. Alright, chat. This is gonna be us for the day once I get this up. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know it's been a hot minute since we've been able to do this, but if I don't see you tomorrow, I will definitely see you on Friday, I think. Yeah, should be Friday. So y'all be safe. Y'all take care. You have fun. And I will see you next time, okay? Do not do anything that I would do. Or wouldn't do. Would or wouldn't? I'm not sure. It's one of the two. I don't remember what all was in here that has now gone. But I feel like there was a bunch of stuff that is now missing. I just can't remember what was here. Curiouser and curiouser. Alright, gang. Thank you so much. You all have a fabulous evening. Happy hump day for tomorrow or for today. And I will see you next time. Alright? Night chat. Bye-bye.